They're going to cut to this moment in the stream.
Yeah,
sorry.
You are sitting in a pocket dimension. You created a small portal to this dimension using rope trick in the last session. And through it, at great cost, mostly to her, you were able to pull the avatar of Owara, Laredith, to safety. It only cost her wings, which were torn off in the process, along with the magical prison that she was being held in. And so we find you now sitting in the near silence, except for the smooth jazz and plush carpeting of your pocket dimension. You have cauterized Laredith's wounds, so she's not bleeding out. She's been stabilized, but she lies unconscious next to you. And it's been about 30 minutes. And you know that to recover any of the abilities you've spent to get that extra magical boost, you need a certain amount of time to focus, to study your spell book, to put the pieces back together. You need a full hour. Your rope trick lasts for 1 hour. But unfortunately, you spent the first minute of this one stabilizing and protecting Laredith rather than sitting and studying. And so you know that 60 seconds face you at the end of this rest, where you will be in your current state, bruised, battered, bleeding, trying to protect an unconscious avatar underwater in the ocean with not one but 2 aboleths. And you only know where one of those aboleths is. Looking out the small porthole, if you will, of your submerged pocket dimension, you're looking basically straight down towards where Skull Cavern was before the ceiling caved in, and you can see one aboleth is just kind of circling down there, unsure of exactly where you went, but certain that you're in the area. The other, who knows, somewhere in the murky depths below. What's going through your head? What's going on, if anything? Are you doing anything?
I think the first 10 minutes, you see Jeb take his jacket off and his hat, and he sets it down to the side, and he's got like this linen shirt underneath it, and like these short trousers. And you see him pull his shirt off up over his head. He's got like bruises, and he's got that gunshot wound in his shoulder from earlier. And he is quite beaten to heck, and his fur almost looks like wet in certain places from where he's been bleeding. And you see him rip the shirt apart, and he bandages some stuff up, just tries to staunch the blood and whatnot. And every once in a while he's doing this, he's just kind of like looking over at Laredith and thinking and planning. The next 10 minutes or so, there's a circular trail cut in the thick plush carpet where Jeb has been pacing in circles with his book open, flipping through, sketching things down, like going over spells and trying to figure out what he can do. He kind of goes through in his mind. He's like, "Come on, You've always got a plan. You've always got a plan." And he comes across some interesting things about using spent spell shells, being able to condense and repack some of the minor components into larger ones. But it's gonna take probably more time than he has now. And he spends the last 10 minutes, he's got his feet sitting in that depression cut into the carpet in there. And he's been writing in the back of his journal letters to each of the guys. Just his contingency plan, if all things go south. He puts instructions on what to expect when they touch the rod and try to attune to it, trying to give them any advantage. He puts his notes on he tears a piece out of one of his books, and that has his notes on Laredith and her being instrumental in casting the spell that will banish the aboleths, and how only she can hallow the ground, and only she knows where it is, the one place in all the world that this spell can be cast. Packs all of his stuff up and takes the rod, dislodges it from Big Boy, slides it into his pack, and in a reverse style, almost like a chute hanging off of the front of her, he puts his pack and he straps it to the front of Laredith. Gives it a little pat, almost like sending a little paper ship off down the river. And he's got his plan. They'll be fine. Don't worry about them. They can take care of themselves. You just gotta focus. You know what you're doing. You got a backup plan. And another. We shouldn't need to get to plan D, but if we do, and he looks at that pack, they're gonna be all right. And he pulls out his blunderbuss and he's ready to get to work.
And what does he do?
He's like, all right, remember how we rehearsed, kind of talking to himself in his head. Step 1, he stands at the edge where the ocean water is lapping up into the pocket dimension, and leans his legs to the side and bends, like, big breath. Boom, plunges his head down into it and is going to cast Rope Trick straight down. He has stuffed the other end of the rope that is connected to Laredith. He's cut it free from the rope trick and stuffed it into his gun, and boom, shoots it right down, almost directly in front.
Before he does, you are going to pick another player to roll a percentile die.
Fox.
All right, Fox, you're going to roll a percentile die. If you roll beneath a 50, then the aboleth circling below does not see Jeb poke his head out. If the aboleth does see, it's going to get a chance to use a reaction as Jeb is casting this spell.
Come on, Fox.
You're muted.
This
Wow.
is killing me.
I got a 22.
Beneath a 50, the aboleth
Let's
does not
go.
see. As you poke your head out, you catch a glimpse in the distance of the aboleth making its circle, and it's facing exactly away from you at this moment in time. You know that you've got probably 6 seconds before it spins around and sees you.
All right. So I cast the spell. It fires another rope trick dimension, but it's upside down. It's facing down. He pulls the rope taut, grabs Laredith, like pops back into where he is, grabs Laredith, and jumps down through this like 1 foot of water, boom, boom, into the other one.
Awesome. As Jeb makes that jump, I'm going to roll a percentile for the aboleth you cannot see. And it's going to be the same DC of 50%. And this one needs to also roll underneath to not see you. Here comes the roll. That's a 19. It does not see you. So
I was worried. I thought that was a 91.
Oh, I realized after the fact that I picked up 2 of the 10s place ones. It's okay. It was always going to be, the stone dice are even on top of the metal dice on my little dice tray here. So you make it without any interference into the next safe point for yourself, into another rope trick dimension. And as you sit down, you are confident that you have the hour you need to follow the loose instructions you found in Grandpa Cole's journal and see if you can condense some of your spent spell shells into a new improved magical spell shell that maybe you can use when this spell ends. We cut from there to the Feywild, where sitting on a cloud, the four of you, Savage Tempest, Owlin Wadrir, Zothkug, and Fox, you are seated cross-legged, some of you holding mugs. Fox actually is not, I'm sorry. Fox is laying on his back. You have the three of you holding mugs and being offered tea by Andromeda, the Silver Star, a pale-skinned woman with long wavy hair that glows along with her freckles like starlight. And she says, "Would you like tea?"
I would.
Yes. If I could ask a quick question about where we are and what's currently happening. Our friend, as we said before, is still on the other side, and we don't know exactly where he is. How does time work where we are now? Does it function the same as where we just left? Does it move at the same rate?
She reaches out and begins filling the tea mugs of everyone who's reached out towards her. And she looks towards you and she says, "You are well read. Time here is different than time where you came from. But at this particular point, we are very close to the meeting point of my world and your world. And at a place like this, time functions nearly the same. See how the sun is at high noon, and as you look down below the cloud you're sitting on, you can see the sun is down beneath you, shining up, the water of the ocean above you rippling. When the sun is at high noon, you can always tell that the Feywild is nearly aligned with the material plane. The echo of each area will overlap. And as you journey further from these points, you'll see the sun begin to go down. And when the sun reaches dusk, you are fully in the Feywild. And at that point, well, there's no telling what time will do."
Interesting. I only ask because that I believe, and Alan will kind of look towards the rest of the party, will affect what time we spend here resting versus what time we spend here planning to go save our friend.
Is it possible for us to go back?
That is an interesting question. I'm not certain. As we were leaving, the place we were, my home on your world, was, I believe, destroyed, or to be more accurate, flooded. And as she says this, the clouds beneath you begin to gray and thicken towards storm clouds. And the ocean above you begins rippling a little bit faster and developing waves and white caps as you can feel the tension mounting in her voice and you can see it in her shoulders. And I'm not certain what implications that has for us to return there.
Is there a way of trying it out? Not saying we need to do that now.
Well, I can certainly shift back from here to there. But to arrive there, submerged underwater, who knows how deep? Not particularly smart. And it seems as though one of your party might be responsible for this submersion of my home.
Ooh.
Well, we were under the Umbral Sea. And I have no idea what or where Jed was and what he did. We did, out of game, we did see the Aboleth, right?
You saw one Aboleth riding the water down towards you just as the dragon plane shifted you into the It's not really a plane shift, but shifted you into the Feywild. And Savage is the only one who saw Jeb flying towards the roof of Skull Cavern and then disappear as he used Magic Tunnel.
We also saw an Aboleth as we were leaving. I don't know if you caught that when you were transferring us, but that is also of great concern.
Oh, I know of the Dark Ones.
What, if I may ask, and if we are kind of at an impasse at this point, well, first I must say, Zoth, do you see the state of Fox? And Alan will kind of point at Fox. And is Fox awake? What's Fox?
I'm literally doing what I'm doing right now, which is just staring off into the distance.
Fox is laying on his back, still missing a leg, the wound cauterized because it was caused by radiant energy, staring up at the ocean that is above you.
Zoth, if that is within your power to begin mending or in some way helping, I am curious, what do you know of the Dark Ones?
I'm going to go over to Fox's leg and do a medicine check on it just
It's
to make
missing.
sure. Well, yeah, I meant to make sure that it like the cauterization is okay, not infected, and tend to it anyway.
I see. Okay, go ahead and roll medicine.
It's gone.
I thought for a second you were like trying to diagnose like
Oh,
what
no,
happened
no,
to
no,
his
no.
leg. I was like, well, it isn't on anymore.
Non-natural 20.
The wound has been properly cauterized. You don't see any signs of infection. It's a nasty cut, and it's just above the knee joint.
Ooh.
Okay, I'm going to put some bandages on it and at least cover it
Okay.
to prevent infection.
Yeah, and Zoth is maybe able to make some kind of poultice out of plants that kind of like soothes the pain a little bit, Fox. It doesn't make it go away, but it kind of like soothes it.
You okay, man?
Oh wait, Savage is gonna like remember something, and he's gonna reach into his jacket and remember that his adventure through all those hallways and rooms that took him everywhere, he did take a whole basket of croissants. So he's gonna bring them out to the table for everyone to have while we're having this discussion.
And tea.
You saved some of my pastries? I'm so thankful. Wow. What an honor you have bestowed upon me. I've only just taken up baking in the last 150 years. I'm still very new at it.
Pastry room? Dang it. We
Have
went
you
in the
had
wrong
them yet?
room,
What do
Alan.
you think of them? She seems
I
to have
loved it.
completely forgotten about Fox and Owlin's existential question as she's distracted by the fact that her pastries have been brought back onto the cloud. What do you think of them?
Very replenishing, I would say.
Alan,
Sorry,
we
a couple
chose
of
the
them were
wrong
crushed, but
Well, there's nothing quite as restorative as freshly baked bread.
I'm not sure if we chose the rooms. I think they sort of chose us. But in any case, I would love to know, what do you know of the Dark Ones, and what do you remember leading up to your imprisonment? Just I would love to know what your context is on this situation.
You ask deep questions. May I have the names of those for whom I would unravel the deepest secrets of the universe?
Zothka.
I'm Owlin.
I nudge Fox.
Uh,
I'm Savage.
I'm Lily.
Hello, everyone. Now that we've gotten that out of the way, and as she turns, it almost looks like she's filing away a little paper, like she's rolled something up and stowed it into the cloud. She sets it down and she sits back down and looks back towards you. You have given me your names. Should you speak of this to anyone, you will lose them.
No.
We are about to journey into secrets, darker and older even than the plane upon which you live. And she waves her hands, and around you, the clouds that kind of spread out off into the distance begin swirling until they have formed like a wall of cloud around you, like you're in the eye of a hurricane storm. And as the rain falls in that cloud, it begins to form little mirages so that as she speaks, her words are illustrated in the walls of the cloud that she's talking about. The ancients, you call the aboleths, broke through the far gates and overcame the soldiers of winter using a combination of manipulation and running water. If you don't know, The Fey creatures have an interesting relationship with water. It is one of the reasons that I built my home upon an ocean. I am something of a liaison or an ambassador for the Fey creatures. The aboleths broke through the far gates where winter was supposed to be guarding against such things by manipulating their way through the forces there. And of course, Mother Winter came to me, knowing the incompetence of the rest of the Winter Court, and asked me to go and hunt them down. But by the time her message reached me, they had already found their way through from our world to yours. They then attempted to bring through a number of soldiers? What does one call creatures formed in the plane of limbo? But whatever they were, they attempted to bring them along. They're sometimes known as darklings, these ones who the aboleths corrupted. They are... Well, they were already in big doo-doo, if you take my meaning. They used to serve in the summer courts, and they did some stuff, and the summer queen was not happy about it, and boy, you do not want to make her unhappy. And she bestowed upon them a curse with some light and some stuff, and it's not really important right now other than for you to understand that they're particularly susceptible to being convinced that everyone's evil and they should just burn the world down. And that's what the aboleths really seized on with them. And the aboleths painted for them a picture of what the world could look like if they could overthrow their connection to the Seelie court, if they could free themselves of this curse, which of course can't be done. Magic originates here. It's not like you can just turn it off. You can suppress it. You can hide it in things, but you certainly can't switch it off. And so they attempted to bring the Darklings with them. One of the ways they crossed over, I believe, is in the south of your region, and it is known as Nottery. It is a city belonging to the merfolk, and has in it a large university, a place filled with arcane magics. Now, what you should know about our two regions is that they mirror each other not geographically, but emotionally. In places in your world where a secret is kept, you can often find secrets here. In places in your world where great concentrations of magic are kept, you can often find them here. And so using one of these pools of magic, the aboleths were able to create a new rift for themselves, a door to enter into what I believe you call the Underdark. And once they were there, they were out of my domain. So I returned here, and I left them alone. 40, maybe 50 years ago now. I had no idea the depths or the breadths of their plans. I was not expecting them to imprison me. And as she speaks, you can hear a little bit of a growl at the back of her throat that is decidedly draconic. There are debts to be paid and collected. But first, I think I need to visit the Winter and Summer Mothers and speak with them about perhaps setting aside their differences. Those two courts, by the way, have been locked in combat for as long as the world has existed, whatever. They don't like each other. They don't even know why. I know why. The mothers know why, but the queens don't know why. It's just part of their nature, and it's best that way. So we're not even going to venture there. Why risk you screwing it up and losing your names, right? So anyway, I think it would be best if we could have the Feywild join forces with you mortals in an attempt to prevent the aboleths from achieving their goal, which is, of course, to destroy pretty much everything and rule over the plane of limbo once they've done that. And that's pretty much what I know. And then she sits back and takes like a really calm sip of her tea, just like... And the rain begins to fade, and the clouds begin to spin back out into the world around, and the sun begins shining up on you again, and... That's pretty much the state you're in, with the exception that the ocean above you continues waving, the waves getting larger and larger.
Well, that's interesting.
I'm sorry, did you just offer us, quote-unquote, an army?
No.
You offered to help us.
Yeah,
with-
I offered to command an army. I don't serve people. People serve me. I mean,
So you
look at me.
command an army
and
to
for a
help
second,
us.
she like leans back, and her draconic form takes over. Because I mean, look at me, and all of a sudden, you're looking up at an ancient moonstone dragon, green fur overlaid on white skin,
Well-
neck stretching up about 150 feet above you to lap at the ocean and get a drink. And then she sits back down, and she's the humanoid form again.
Well, we've now freed you and Carlo.
Oh, you know Garlel. How's he doing?
He's
better.
getting better. Yes, he was in a similar state to you when we found him.
All the avatars are,
Yes, they're all being.
All of them.
They're all
except for Kay,
yes, K. We believe is simply missing.
adrift in the skies.
But everyone else, as far as we know, is being used as conduits to suppress magic, as you were describing previously.
There's one other that wasn't imprisoned, but was.
I can't remember her name off the top of my head right now. But
Was it Laird? Laird?
well,
Laradith is with Wash right now. Or with
say,
Jebra.
what do you know of Laradith and her imprisonment? What part did she have to play in what we came in to kind of disrupt here?
Larodith, Avatar of Awara. We were friends. I assume she's dead now, but if she's not, if you've managed to save her, then great. We're still friends, probably. I don't know. It's been a while since we spoke. I don't really measure time the way that mortals usually measure time, so it's hard to know if it's been a while since we spoke in her mind, but I think it's been kind of a while. But anyway, Larodith and I, we go way back, centuries, eons, eras. And Larodith is, wow, she's got a brilliant mind. She's a big thinker. She, really brought a lot of interesting things to your world, what you would call innovation, what we would call magic shaped differently.
Yes,
whatever.
a lot of the things that I learned in my childhood were pioneered by her.
Yes. Well, she was quite the pioneer. If she was being used, I imagine her energy was first and foremost being directed at controlling me, which is a little awkward. So we're going to move right on. If you speak about that either, you're going to lose your names. If you talk about the fact that I was in prison, that didn't happen. That's not canon. So that's part of the deal we just made. Good deal. Yes.
Are we bound by this deal no matter, can you keep amending it? Is that a thing? How does this spell work exactly?
You gave me your names for free. These aren't contracts. These are ransoms.
Oh,
That. Okay. Alan's just gonna sit back and be like, I hope if Laredith's alive, I hope Laredith is more agreeable.
I'm just gonna sip my tea again. Just all right.
As you're sipping the tea, those of you who are drinking it, you do regain all your hit points.
Yeah.
The tea technically has a roll, but since you're just sitting with her and having tea, I'm assuming you drink enough.
We're
enough
taking
teas that
many
you
sips.
Yeah.
Oh
And
yeah.
we're not gonna
I'm
measure
on my
that.
third glass or third mug.
I'm going to
already.
add a second die to the tension pool as your conversation continues.
Teacup of many sips.
Chat added the first one a little while ago.
I know.
So we've been sort of sent on a quest, I guess you'd say, of rescuing everyone and getting the rod of 7 parts.
The rod of 7 parts. Ooh, fascinating. Have you found any?
I have one, and then our companion who was left behind has one.
You have one. And she switches
do.
back into her draconic form in the blink of an eye, and her long neck stretches around you looking for it in your inventory. She looks in the pot. She sniffs. Where is it? Her little forked tongue flicks out, trying to figure out where it is. Where do you keep it?
I pull it out of the pot.
Oh, it was in the pot. I should have known. Ooh, is that a plant? I mean, tell me about
It
the rod.
is.
And she, switches back into her humanoid form and looks towards it.
Well, the plant, I believe, is a plant that was blessed by Crescendo, but that's just speculation. I've been cultivating it. It has a little bit of magic in it. Very fun. But this is the rod of wisdom.
Ooh. Are you very wise then?
I'd like to think I am.
Alan smiles in agreement, unknowing.
Interesting. So you wish to unite the parts of the rod of 7 parts. You wish to create a rod of one part.
And use it to
maybe not
destroy the aboleths once and
putting
for
them
all.
together is apparently a very powerful endeavor.
Oh, yes, it will certainly kill you.
So we're more so freeing the avatars, getting all of them together, getting all the parts, and then hopefully performing the ritual to banish the aboleths.
There's a ritual to banish aboleths? Why hasn't anyone told me? I could have done it by now.
We actually have been told that it requires all of the avatars of the gods in order
Each
to...
avatar knows one part of the process.
Similar to needing all parts of the rod.
It's one of those things too powerful for one person to know all the detail. Classic avatars.
That is correct.
So
I can't believe them.
It does make it somewhat inconvenient to do, but I believe that it will be necessary.
If we lose Laredith, then there goes a part of the ritual that we cannot get back.
You look over and she's playing with a really beat up wooden yo-yo. You have no idea how many centuries she's had it, but she's like, sorry, what are we talking about again?
Alan is gonna lean over to Zothkug and attempt to if he has to roll stealth, that's okay. He's gonna attempt to basically whisper to him I don't think she's gonna be as much help as Carlisle.
GMV has put the third die in the tension pool.
We have to. She's the next piece, though. We have to at least get the next process. Path piece.
Can somebody pass me tea?
I got it. I'm gonna hold Fox's head up and give him some tea really quick and make sure he swallows it and doesn't choke on it.
Well, his neck.
She doesn't
pat his head a little bit.
She doesn't have a piece of the rod. I mean, she might have to
information.
I think she just gave us all the information she's willing to give us. She seems pretty uninterested with some of the plights of the world. Obviously, the Feywild army will be very helpful, but other than that, I don't know if this is a place we need to dilly-dally in for too long.
I could
especially
be persuaded to trade some information.
Alan will do a big eye roll, man, it's one of these people.
Well, what do we have that you want?
I'm not sure. What do you got? The Rod of Seven Parts is cool, but I understand you seem to want that, so that's probably not up for trade.
Allows us to cast magic, and us being able to do that is very critical to our operation, unfortunately.
Magic works here.
Wait, when you say trade information, do you mean literally as in we lose the information and you gain it?
You're cunning. Okay, just this time you can trade something else, and I'll get the information and give it to you.
Good save, Fox.
Fox, maybe you should handle this.
Sure, you all right? I'm going to set him up a little bit so he can start
Fox
to...
white face with a handful of HP.
when Savage lifts Fox up a little bit, Alan's going to go over to Fox and be like, I think this is kind of like Kyvan Part 2. Tread carefully.
Did you say Kyvan? And the dragon's head is right there next to
Alan's
you.
Alan's gonna just head facepalm and be like, oh no, they're friends.
Is he still alive?
I don't know. That sounds like information that you would like to know that we have ownership of.
No, that was just general shock. That dude's old as dirt. Why?
I can't agree with that. I think we can all agree with that.
He's old and he's not very nice. She sits back down cross-legged in her humanoid form.
He was a bit hostile.
Ooh, gotta tell me a secret I don't already know. What unreasonable terms? I just need your names.
Alan's just gonna put his hands in his face, just like in his head, mentally going, "That's what you literally just asked us for."
No, I'm not asking you for information. She says, hearing your thoughts echo around the Feywild or something. I'm not asking for information. I'm asking for I don't know, trade me something. What do you have? Do you have any yo-yos?
I have.
Do you want a magic leaf?
Oh no!
How magic is it?
How do you define the quantity of magic?
I don't know. You gotta tell me. How magic is it?
Zoth, let me let me handle this. We have an item capable of doing many magical feats, even though the aboleths have tried their best to suppress magic. So it makes it unique in that regard. It is a form of, looks at Zoth, plant magic?
Zoth gives you a thumbs up.
It appears to be some form of plant magic.
Very powerful plant magic. Unsuppressible plant magic.
Unsuppressible.
Well,
Gosh.
we haven't been able to suppress it.
Fold it in half for me.
I will.
Point to Zoth.
I'll hand Fox a leaf.
I mean, you could have done it, but okay. I folded it in half. Kind of
That seems
squinting a little bit.
It seems suppressible. Like you're already pressing. You just need to suh.
Can you suck?
She like leans forward with her draconic head and sniffs it.
Well, after me pressing on it and you saying "suh," can you do something with it, Trevor? I mean, Zoth?
He hasn't lost his name yet.
Can you show that we, even though we have pressed and "suh" on it, that it still works?
I can. I'll take the leaf and I'll channel the magic from it and cast the sacred flame with it.
Ooh. 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 Do it again. Do it again.
We don't. This is a limited supply, so we don't want to burn it all up before you determine it's worth trading.
But I want it.
Well, what are you willing to trade for it?
How about a stick?
Does the stick have any magical properties?
I don't know.
I don't know. That doesn't sound very appetizing.
Are you sure it's cool looking?
Show me this stick then. I whispered to Alan, for all I know, it's another rod of the 7 bars.
Alan just like shrugs. He's like, he's like kind of like, okay, I thought this dragon was gonna be like super cool and helpful, and this dragon is kind of the opposite.
Stolen
of that
our
right
names
now.
and demanded a leaf as trade.
Exactly.
She reaches into the cloud, and it's almost like someone who's going through a box. Like she begins chucking stuff over her head, and instead of flying away into natural gravity, it flies upwards and splashes into the ocean above. And so it's like, a dumbbell comes out, several dead bodies come out, a whole tree comes out, a couple squirrels go rules, they like fly up to she's just really throwing all of it. And then eventually she lifts up a stick, and it's not a stick, it is one of the stone replicas of the Rod of 7 Parts from Udril that can summon one of the dire wolves from the kingdom of Udril, like what Jeb was given. She goes, stick.
I don't know. I might be convinced. Let me do a team huddle over here, and since it's
We all
not
gotta
just
crouch
my
down to
leaves-
Fox's level for the huddle.
Yeah, I like that Fox has been wheeling and dealing here, but from laying down.
That's a power
Alright.
move.
Yeah.
Chad hits you with
Chad,
the 4th
Giga
tension
Chad.
die.
All right. So, we all agree this is worth it.
I would think so. I mean, if it'll be able to summon a dire wolf, and if it, like, I don't know, maybe there's like
It
an
actually has
off
magic.
chance that it like is a piece of the rod. That'd be hilarious.
Maybe
I
we
think
should
it's worth
inspect
it.
it first.
I think it's a really good deal. You look up, and she's right next to you.
Can I inspect it?
From there, and she holds it like she's holding it out so it's over your head as you look up.
Can I roll Arcana to see if it has magic in it?
Sure.
14.
Wait a minute. We have one on our person. Who has it?
I think Jeb has
Doesn't
it.
Jeb have it?
Yeah, Jeb has it. He was given it by the king.
If she just straight up took it from Jeb's bag.
I got a 14.
It doesn't seem to have any inherent magical properties that you can decipher. Like, neither does Jeb's. It seems like an actual like it seems exactly like what Jeb has.
Okay.
So
Looks like what Jeb has. Speaking
Would
of which,
you-
we also need to come up figure that out.
Yeah,
yes, what
actually,
is
yes.
Jeb?
I almost had a
That's our
question
other
about
companion.
wait.
Go ahead, Fox.
We cannot distract from the conversation. We must finish our conversations before beginning others.
You have so many rules.
I mean, this is more just I'm trying to coordinate my side. I mean, I can't really control what you do. So, but may I ask where you have acquired said stick?
I found it.
Did you just now find it?
No. Found it years ago.
Alan leans over. She did say that time works differently for her.
Your years. I'm a dragon. You just can't hide things from our ears from like within 20 feet of us. Like, we're just going to hear you. If it would make you feel better, I can pretend not to hear you, sort of, but like, I'm going to know what you said.
That's fair.
It's more entertaining if you just continue the way you are.
Okay.
Dragon say what?
Fox, do you have anything else that you want to ask here about this rod?
You mean the stick?
The stick, I guess the stick.
I think it's worth a trade as long as its former owner was not one Jebediah Peppermint.
I don't even know what a Jebediah peppermint is. Is it like
Was a
peppermint?
former-
Is it like a different
was a-
flavor?
No.
Oh.
I mean, technically.
It's a mole.
But no. A mole folk. Was the previous owner a mole folk?
No. Previous owner was a short guy.
Probably a dwarf. I think we're okay.
Okay, we will accept the trade? Question mark? As I look around.
Alan will nod.
Very good.
Yeah.
She hands you the stick and she takes the
I
leaf.
hand her a leaf.
Ooh, and she like lays down on her back like a cat and plays with it.
Okay. Team huddle. And Dragon, I guess you're a part of this huddle, whether we like it or not. What do we do?
We need to
I'm
find
not
Jeb.
sure.
We need to figure out if there's any chance she could, when she can take us back, but not under the bottom of the sea.
So above.
So yeah, we need to be teleported back so we're not going to be drowning.
But we need to be able to reach Jeb. Or at least
We
you guys
also-
need to be able to reach
There's
Jeb.
also an aboleth, so we need to deal with that too.
And also,
two
We don't know what
aboleths.
exactly he is. All we
Wait,
know
what,
is
there's
that
two?
we swam upward.
Of course, there's two of them. Didn't you see the other one?
No.
no, we only saw one, but I
Where was the
appreciate
other
that
one?
information.
Two.
To be fair, we've also pretty much exclusively seen two when we've seen aboleth, so that does
That's
make
true.
sense. What? It sounds like Savage, you saw Jeb go upward, which made sense because he was probably going after Laredeth. However, what's difficult for me in this situation is discerning what Jeb's plan was and whether his plan relies on us being there in the cavern or us being here, or how can we assist him in what he was planning to do, or did he have any plan to begin with? I think that's what the tough thing is for me at this moment.
If Laredith was up there, he was probably trying to save Laredith, and that's as far as his actual plan probably got.
I believe that his plan was likely a little bit further than that, but I don't know if it was well thought out to the point of the minutia of whether we were there to see him execute it.
Moon Dragon.
Yes.
If we were to describe one Jebediah Peppermint, who is in fact a person, a mofo, would you be able to find him without leaving this realm?
Only if he's sleeping.
Interesting.
I mean, it'd be a really bad circumstance, but he might be.
That's possible. We could try. How long would it take?
Just count as sleeping?
Is it possible to find this? Was Laerdith? Sorry, I'm saying the name right.
Laerdith?
What's the avatar's name?
Laerdith.
Is it possible to find her?
If she's
She
sleeping.
was.
I believe that she's likely sleeping.
Is unconscious to count as sleeping?
I have no idea. I've never been unconscious before today.
I
Well,
would
that I
say
know of.
let's try finding Laerdith then. I
Or
agree
Jeb.
that's most likely.
I believe Laerdith is the more likely one to be asleep.
Okay. Well, then let's all sleep. And she rears up her draconic form and breathes straight down onto you, one of her breath weapons. As the purplish black sort of mist swirls over you, your eyes become heavy and dreary and droopy, and you sink into a deep, relaxing sleep. And at first,
Wait,
you
DM,
all
is it
have
magic?
normal dreams. But in the midst of your normal dreams, all of you are aware of a bright yellow door. And it seems like no matter where, like, you know, if you see the door in an alleyway and you walk the other way, a little while after that, you see the door in the side of a building. And if you keep walking, the door just keeps showing up in your dream. And so eventually each of you are like, I guess I'll go through the door.
Wait, since this is a dream, does Fox have both of his legs?
Roll a percentile die. If it's over 50%, Fox has both legs.
Yay!
It's not.
Wait,
His feet are at his knees, and he's just walking around with little
Yes.
stubby legs.
00 is 0, right?
00 is 100.
00 is 100?
Yes.
Yep.
Like on the one die.
Yeah, 00. Right? You said both dies rolled a 0.
No. Like 00 on the one die.
So
What's the
doubles-
other one?
Yeah, what's on the other
Tens
die?
place. It's
The
at
tens?
6.
So then it's just a 6.
Yeah, it's just
That's
a
what I
6.
thought. Okay.
Yeah. So that is below a 50. I don't remember which eventuality was that. Is that his feet or his knees?
I totally have legs.
I think so. Yeah, you have legs down to the knees and then feet on them. Your feet are where your knees were. He has 100 legs, chat says. I'm also going to roll my tension die here because I'm just about to add the 6th tension die to the pool. We're going to see
So-
if anything interesting happens to you.
Is it knees and then feet, or is it knees feet
for
replace the
knees.
Oh,
Yeah.
and then are there shins below that?
No.
Underneath his feet.
No, there are not shins underneath his feet.
He put his legs on upside down.
Or these
walking
adventures and these.
All right, eventually you all
walking like a
waddle through
penguin.
the yellow door and we get to the actual part of the story. And on the other side, you can see an A2 creature who is wandering around. She seems to be, well, Owlin, you've actually seen her before. You have, as a very young child, before leaving for the Eos Lore Foundation to begin your scholastic journey, you saw Laerdith give a lecture, basically, or like a town hall type of presentation on some new thing she had innovated. And so you recognize this woman. But she is an A2 with wings that spread broadly out to the side and kind of curl to reflect her emotions at the moment. They're very relaxed. And she is wandering through a library. And she's just kind of like taking a book off the shelf, checking the title, putting it back. She looks over and chat puts another die in the tension pool. Love that. She looks over at you. And she first recognizes Andromeda, the Silver Star, who is escorting you. You didn't even see her, but as you walked through the yellow door, she closed it behind each of you. And once it was closed, you were in this library. She looks over and goes, Andromeda! Wow, it's been a long time. Has it been a long time? Oh dear. These people wanted to see you anyway. And Andromeda just walks back to the wall and like sits down and reads a book. She's like just here to facilitate your conversation. Yes, you wanted to see me?
Laerdith, I hope this doesn't spell disastrous consequences for this conversation. Are you aware that you are currently dreaming?
I think I am now. She
Perfect.
straightens her glasses. Dreaming Andromeda makes sense. Okay, so we're speaking for that reason. Does that mean I'm dead? Am I dead?
No, as far as we know, you are not dead.
That would be
We believe.
incredibly
no idea.
inconvenient if I was dead.
Yes, I agree.
Just organized all of my screws by size. It would be really frustrating.
Alan like raises an eyebrow, like, yes,
be
that would be
dead right
frustrating
now.
to die right before doing that.
Yeah.
What I was going to say is, we believe, well, not we believe, you have been ensnared, entrapped, and your power is being siphoned by aboleths.
Well, that's
And we believe
inconvenient.
you were with our friend Jeb in the outside world. Not sure if you have any recollection of that.
We also believe that you're both in the middle of the sea. Under
The Umbral Sea.
the Umbral Sea.
Specific, yes.
Owlin, roll a persuasion check. Zothkug
Okay.
and Savage roll to help.
Okay.
So for Zoth and Savage, you're rolling to see if you can get above a 12 persuasion. If you do, it will give Owlin advantage for each person who rolls above. So up to triple advantage available.
I would love some advantage.
I got
Go for
13.
it, guys.
Okay,
I got
so you-
22.
all right, 2 advantages for Owlin.
Let's go, because I rolled terrible the first one. And I didn't roll great the second one, and I rolled the same for the third one. 11.
11.
Total?
Yeah,
Wow.
sorry.
I'm not
I'm not mad, I'm
sure
just
about
disappointed.
that. Have you validated all those facts?
Yes, I have. Well, we can all attest eyewitness testimony to the fact that we were all there, as well as we can, in detail, all give you consistent accounts as to the way that they were siphoning the magic out of you.
She straightens her glasses and she pulls a little pocket notebook out of a breast pocket of her vest that she's wearing. And she says, okay, tell me how it works. She pulls a pencil that you didn't see behind her ear and clicks it open with her teeth and is ready to take notes.
Do you know of hotlines, the technology behind hotlines?
Yes, I invented those.
Yes, great. They are being used to conduit the magic that is being siphoned from you throughout Uruda, essentially. They are being powered from basically a magical sigil, and then Alan could even if there's a book around him, he'll try to sketch out the sigil that he's seen around
Don't draw
both
on that one. That's historical fiction. Draw on this one. This is someone's thesis. He's bogus. Don't worry about it.
Okay, headcanon, Alan sees it. It's like one of his professors from when he was learning, and he was just like, oh gosh, okay.
It's the professor who flew the dragonfly
Yes.
at him.
Anyway, he draws out his recollection of the Garlel, the one around Garlel, the one around the Moonstone Dragon, and I'm trying to remember. Alan looked up and saw that Laredith was up there. Did he see the spear between her wings and how that was being used?
He saw it, but
thing?
wouldn't know exactly how it was linked. He couldn't get any details, but he could see a spear sticking out of her wings.
And so he'll draw that, and then he'll try to draw a sketch of what he saw of her, and the spear going through the wings, and how the sigil was being around that. And I theorize that in this specific case where you were trapped, the magic was being siphoned from you to power, and then he'll also sketch out the battery cells that they blew up to power these, which were then being used to distribute. But also the magical power, to sort of self-entrap you as a failsafe, was also being used to keep the water from crushing you. In this case, they used a similar thing with Garlel, where when he was disconnected from his magical power, the failsafe against a giant ooze was broken, and the ooze then came after us.
And then also just something to add to this whole picture is that the life crystal for Andromeda was also poisoned, which I don't think anyone else saw other than Mavira, but that's what I was doing when I was away from the fight. For
That makes a lot of sense.
All of you forget Zothkug's name.
Oh, wow. That makes a lot of sense. Oh, Alan's gonna look wide-eyed at Fox.
She looks over at Zoth and cocks her head. Who are you?
I'm
I'm so confused right now.
We'll call you Big Guy for now.
Anyway,
okay, Big Guy. So the soul crystal, if any of you happen to look towards the corner, you see Andromeda kind of chuckling to herself and then closing the book that she's reading and pocketing it and pulling out another book to read. So you say all of this is happening right now, like I'm sleeping through an imprisonment involving a spear.
That is correct. Or perhaps our friend Jebediah, it's quite possible that he has freed you at this point, and that he is currently trying to escape from the aboleths with you in hand to revive you and basically bring you back to life so that we can work together to stop the aboleths using the Rod of Seven Parts and the incantation.
So it's just him versus two aboleths, huh? What are my odds?
At this point, yes.
Shoot straight with me.
We believe not great, which is why we believe it important for you to either wake up or find a way for us to join you.
Gods. Andromeda, did you take Big Guy's name?
No, I took someone else's name. We did make a deal.
That's right.
Big Guy.
But that means the three of us don't have much time left before our names are gone too, if that's the case.
Well, no, it just simply means
don't break the deal.
That we don't, and then he just kind of like looks at Savage and like shakes his head.
Yeah, just don't do that stuff we said you weren't going to do.
Yeah, that.
Yeah, don't do that stuff.
Anyway, do you have any ideas, Laredith? I know you're definitely an ideas person.
I am an ideas person, but I haven't, I think I might have been unconscious before I got to this place. I was from I was in the last thing I remember, I was on the floating peak. I was in my workshop organizing screws.
Quite interesting. That means, Alan is going to search back in his brain, and does he remember the fact that, hey, we haven't seen Laredith in a while, before the peak fell? Is that a thing that he remembers, or was he just not aware at that point?
He remembers, sure. Okay.
That is quite interesting. This has been in the works for a long time. I hate to break sad news to you. The peak has fallen, as well as the Great Library. Quite literally fallen. She
slowly takes off her oversized glasses and looks at you. Are you being serious right now?
I am being completely serious. The fallen library is where Garlel was trapped.
Roll a persuasion.
Before we freed him.
Roll a persuasion with advantage.
Please roll better. Okay, I'm already rolling better. 15.
She rolled with disadvantage on a wisdom save against overwhelm. She just sinks to her knees, motionless in front of you, and goes silent.
Alan will look at the rest of the party and be that does make sense that would traumatize her greatly. That is quite unfortunate. Alan will attempt to kneel and put a hand on her shoulder. Is she sobbing? Is she saying anything? Can you make out anything just by offering her comfort?
She is tense. But she's not crying, but she's just tensed up and she's in shock.
Okay. Library and the peak have fallen, but the people and the spirit of them live on. I am one of those that carries on the legacy of the knowledge that was taught there. I remember one of your lectures when I was just a child. I remember the education that I gained in the tower, and it can be rebuilt. It has been rebuilt in the past. We can fix this.
Am I the only A2 left?
That Alan's knowledge, is that true?
Alan hasn't seen any other A2.
Okay. Alan is just going to hand was on back. Now hand is kind of hopefully comfortingly kind of rubbing back and just I don't know if we can say for certain.
You're right. There's not enough empirical data. Okay. And she seems to be like retreating into her like inward scientist as she's like, okay, so if we take some measurements of the seismic activity from the fall, then we can figure out how far the ripple would have gone and the shockwave and the probably from the and she like just begins scribbling frantic equations in her thing. And she goes, if we do that, it crumbles. And eventually it like comes to a stop and she just looks up. And you can see like the very last thing on her sketch is the floating peak broken in half exactly at the orientation it landed when you saw it. Like, fallen exactly the way that she's calculated exactly how it would have fallen. And she goes, you gotta wake me up.
Yes.
How do we do that?
I mean, I would try like shaking my shoulder or something. Where's this the other one, Jeb? You said there's a Jeb with me?
Yes, that is correct.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
we're not with them.
Why isn't he waking me up?
I don't know.
I'm an avatar, right? I should be able to do stuff.
I would think so.
I'm not dead because I'm dreaming.
Yes, that's
dead
correct.
People don't dream. That's at least, I mean, we have no empirical data to suggest they don't dream, but we don't know for sure that they do dream either. So it really would be unreasonable to suggest that I would dream if I was dead. So that can't be right.
Do you think you could be jolted awake from this side?
I don't know. Pinch me. She holds out an arm.
Alan pinches her.
Nothing happens. Nope, that didn't work.
Maybe you're unconscious?
That's not great.
Obviously, you just experienced great emotional shock and that didn't wake you up.
Can I heal you through here?
I have no idea. Andromeda, does that work? Can people heal from inside dreams? Andromeda looks up and goes, I don't know. I've been alive for 3 years and no one's ever tried it.
All right, I'm gonna approach her and cast Cure Wounds on her.
All right, I'm gonna clear the tension pool, and depending on what happens, it might work.
Do you see what Belly put in the
chat? That's a little too strong to be a boon. Chat, for those of you listening on Spotify, chat has suggested they just pinch her and it works. Boon is a way to tweak current circumstances that makes the narrative interesting, not necessarily solves or resolves a conflict.
If it does work, she'd heal 18.
Okay.
Health.
So she does heal 18 health. A lot of things happen at once. The first thing is you touch her and heal her and she vanishes. Jeb, you are nose buried in your spell book when next to you with a gasp, Laredith sits up and like eyes wide. Yeah, probably shocking you as well. Just sits up. She looks over at you. She looks up out the porthole at the water. She sees the aboleth circling overhead. She goes, ow, my shoulders. Inside the dream, at the same time as Laredith wakes up, the four of you hear a door slam shut. And you look to the other side of the library, and walking into the library through the door, upright, walking on its little lashing tentacles, is an aboleth that has found its way into the dream somehow. Andromeda has put her book down and is trying to open the yellow door, and it won't. And the aboleth looks towards you, and it goes, where's your friend? Owlin, make a wisdom save.
Oh, golly gee willikers.
That's the most Owlin exclamation ever.
I am so sorry for how I'm rolling tonight.
More accurate.
7.
No better.
7. And you know what that means. It means it's story time at the Wing Badger Tavern, and we'll be right back.
Zanir,
That was all the intro. That's insane.
Gontos, Kotis, Alara. Long ago, the four ancients created a world in harmony. Then everything
My wife is
changed
yelling
when
angrily
Jack
from
went
upstairs.
magic. Only Kelmor, master of good vibes, could stop them. But when the world needed him most, he vanished. 2 years have passed, and 4 adventurers have discovered a conspiracy, a company selling magic. And although their roleplay is great, they have a lot of XP to earn before they're ready to save anyone. But I believe they can save the world.
Welcome back to the table. Before we get back into the session, let's meet tonight's players for just a second. We're going to go left to right, top to bottom.
Hey, I'm Wash. I play Jebediah Peppermint, the gun wizard molefolk, and I'm ready to kick the doo-doo out of some aboleths.
What's happening, guys? I'm Sir T-Sav. I play Savage Tempest. I'm here joining the crew as an extra. And yeah, it seems that I'm about to go hand-to-hand with an aboleth as well.
What's up, guys? I'm Jake. I don't have a cool streamer name. I play Alan Woodrear. And Alan Woodrear, who is an Azamar Storm Herald Barbarian artillerist artificer who's about to maybe be dead or mind-controlled. We'll see.
Hello, I am Trevor. I play Big Guy, the Orc Cleric of the group.
And I'm Matt. I play Fox, the rogue changeling, part bard, part crippled, part doesn't know what's about to happen, but
And I'm Josh, your
hopefully it
Wing Badger
happens.
Game Master. And without further ado, let's get back to tonight's Dungeons and Dragons session. We're going to start in the pocket dimension with Jebediah Peppermint and Laredith, who has just sat up looking frantic. She looks over at you and begins talking a mile a minute. Are you Jebediah? Okay, so what my understanding is that the peak fell, and then there was some magic, and then some stuff was suppressed, and then above us there's the aboleths here, one, maybe two aboleths here, and we have to fight the aboleths, and that's probably not going to be easy. And I'm having a hard time finding like magic to channel, and also what in the heck happened to my shoulders? They're so sore right now, and I'm just what is going on? What are you doing with that? Where are my manners? Hi, I'm Laredith, and she like straightens her glasses again.
Okay, couple things. Yes. Correct. Because of the imprisonment and the way that you were able to get out of it, he points to the wings. Yes. Also yes. Yes, there are two. Very dangerous. Yes, and I have a plan.
She begins processing all the information at once. Okay, what's your plan? She sits down cross-legged next to you.
All right. And Jeb pulls out his little handy-dandy 5-step, nope, we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7-step plans. Step 1, rest. We have already done that. Step 2, rope trick down. We have already done that. Step 3, heal. And Jeb kind of like messes with his wound. Step 4, repack shells. And he holds up a big, stuffed to the brim, kind of janky, maybe a little like charred number 4 spell shell. Step 5, we're going to ritual cast Zonde. Step 6, wait. Step 7, run like the Dickens. And then we've got contingencies. And Jeb goes over his contingencies as well.
Interesting. Do you know someone named Cole?
Yes, my grandpa's name's Cole. Well,
Short guy like you?
he passed away a while ago.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, thanks.
I met him at some point in a tunnel, and he was working on a thing that looked a lot like that. And she points at your smaller blunderbuss, but he had a couple of design things that weren't right, but we were able to work it out in like just a little quick session of brainstorming and stuff together. So that's
You helped
cool.
him out with this. This is his. Like I've been studying it and I've been using it. I have his journal.
Yeah, so take a look at how this, and she begins explaining to you the mechanism on the back of it. And so if you use it like this, and then
okay.
and it moves in this direction, and that's how we were able to get some of these other things to work. And she just starts like
I thought
explaining
that was just
details
like a
to you.
hinge.
No, it's
interesting.
not just a hinge. Just a hinge. Come on, we can make more than one purpose for one item here. We're engineers
You're not
after all.
wrong.
Okay,
You sound
so
a lot
this-
like my friend Alan.
I think I just met him. Well, I probably, it doesn't really count as meeting him. I mean, have you really met someone if all you've done is speak to them in a dream, right? I mean, but yeah.
Well,
so I
you
spoke
might
to him.
consider that, the mind is the essence of the person. So if your two minds have met, that's probably meeting somebody more legitimately than if in person. That's something that Alan would say. I normally don't think like that.
Yeah, but it's a good point though. Like I can see it. It sounds.
That's a good point. That's why it's
Alan-y.
something that he would say.
Yeah, I could see that.
He makes lots of good points.
Yeah.
Dreams, huh?
Yeah, dreams. They were with they were with big guy of some kind.
Oh,
You
yeah,
also don't know his name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so all of them.
Yeah.
Fox and Alan and Pup were there. All right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
and like the elf guy too. Savage.
Yeah, there was an elf there.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so this plan, how long do you need to get that? I mean, no offense, I understand you're working with improvised materials. That doesn't look like the most stable ammunition I've ever seen.
Well, you're not wrong, but it's never not worked. So we're gonna, that's kind of like my MO.
Not working?
No, never not working. It's a dirt folk saying.
We got to talk about work-life balance when we're through this. And we cut from there back into the dream where an Aboleth has just placed Owlin Wadrir under an enslavement. Owlin, I'm going to actually send you some messages on Discord here to explain to you exactly what you are hearing in your head, but you get some very definitive, convincing messages into your brain.
My Brian.
No, I didn't see it. Okay, chat says they gave Owlin a boon. Actually, it's not chat. It's my wife who has barged through the door with my dog to tell me that Owlin deserves a boon.
I think I saw it, but I thought that you saw it and it would be incorporated later.
She goes, "That's my hard-earned feathers, man."
Oh no.
Do you want to talk to the people? No, you just want to stand over my shoulder intimidatingly. She goes,
We're
"It's
leaving that in the
fine."
podcast.
Leaves the room. Hi, Ari, by the way.
Thank
I
you,
see in the
Mrs.
chat.
Pugs.
Alan,
Yeah.
how about you get... I'm trying to think of a way that we can... So what can we do to tweak the narrative interestingly here? I think one of them could be that Andromeda gets pissy about someone messing with her dream and smacks you on the back like she's trying to help you with something you're choking with and like gets you a chance to roll out of it. Andromeda's hilarious. So the three of you who are not Owlin, this thing, like this creepy fish looking thing, walks in on some tentacles by the door, says nothing and does nothing, and then Andromeda walks up and goes, I think we'll be having none of that in one of my dreams, and backhands Owlin across the back of his head. Just whack! It's Owlin. Owlin, you can make a wisdom save.
This time I got a 14.
14.
Yay.
You win.
Let's go!
Yeah.
You won D&D.
Yeah, you won D&D. So you
D&D.
shake out of it.
Something no one will be playing
And
now.
you shake out of it
Hey,
before the messaging has a chance to permeate your brain. So I'm not going to tell you what narrative they would have spun so that it's fresh if they hit you with it later. The Aboleth is just looking towards you now, and you're looking at it.
All right. I think it's time to either leave or fight. I'm not sure what to do in a dream.
Well, normally I just open this door and we wake up. I swear this never happens. Gosh. Open the door again. She's going to roll some stuff to try and pull that off. Okay, actually, she not 20'd. I'm not even making it up. So she goes over this. I swear this never happens. And then she opens the door and goes, "I told you." And she walks through the door and like waves you like, "Come on, come on."
Let's go.
I run for the door.
Aboleth watches
Move
menacingly
my little legs.
as you Fox waddles along on little stump legs.
I'm gonna
that end
pick
at
him
the
up with
knees.
his shoulder and give him a little help.
You all waddle out in time, and Andromeda shuts the door on the dream, and you all wake up where you were sitting, the black mist of the breath weapon just kind of fading away. And now you are awake again. And Andromeda goes,
Was that a long rest?
that was not a long rest. That
Dang.
was like maybe 20 minutes, like of the longer of the two universes.
Power nap.
Yeah. And Andromeda says to you, those things are so rude. Can you believe you coming into my dream? Well, anyway,
How
what
did
should we
you
do
even
now?
get there?
She begins playing with her yo-yo again.
Negotiate to get my name back. I have more leaves.
You're going to have to do better than leaves.
The promise of not making the same mistake again.
But you promised the first time.
Alan is going to go into his pack and open up and find something that earlier he had lost but then found again. And it's his little replica of Makar's Tinker Toy. He's going to put it in his hand and wind it up and let it kind of walk across his one hand into his other hand and up his arm a little bit. And then kind of grab it and say, would this interest you, perhaps?
I don't know. It's pretty small.
Alan looks at the yo-yo and raises an
Yo-yo, which
eyebrow.
is absolutely normal yo-yo size. Like,
Yep, he looks at the yo-yo and just raises an eyebrow at her.
well, I already have something small. She does the yo-yo. She like flips it into a trick, does like an Eiffel Tower.
And it sounds like you've had it for a long time.
Yeah.
Maybe it's time for a new small thing.
You think I should keep the orc as a pet?
No.
Please no.
I was referring to, the thing we were just talking about. Alan will hold up the Tinker Toy. And maybe your yo-yo has some sort of story behind it, some sort of deep and tragic backstory. Perhaps it doesn't. I'm not sure. But this item has a very deep and long and personal story to it, and I believe that gives it value.
There's a story? You can tell that she's not even idly spinning the yo-yo anymore. I love stories.
Oh, yes. This is...
Can I have it?
If you promise to return my friend's name, yes, you may have it.
Okay.
Alan will reach out the hand with the Tinker Toy then.
I meant the story.
Oh! Okay, once again, is this you having it as in I forget about it once I speak it to you?
Yes, I want it.
Alan's gonna sit back for a second. And then Alan's gonna look at Zoth.
I'll hold up to finger up to Alan. Hold on, Alan, and I'll walk over to Fox, and I'll say, Fox.
I'm very lost right now, man. Big guy,
I have this bag of sacrium we could offer her, but you're a better salesman than me. And I don't
all
know
right,
how to sell
I'll see what I can do.
I can do.
Am I one-legged again, by the way? Mm-hmm. Okay. This entire time I've been just standing on one leg. I realize that I do not have another leg, and I just fall over.
I'll catch him.
It looks a little bit like a dip.
And Andromeda, I have a deal for you. Would you like a bag of fun?
Oh my god. It's an episode of Breaking Bad.
No, that's just sacrium.
It's fun for some people.
Not for me.
It's not.
I
I've
have
seen some people
magic.
do some fun stuff
Look
though.
around.
Yeah, but this is magic. You don't know what will happen when
Chad
you
has granted
apply
a
it.
boon. How can we interestingly tweak the circumstances of this situation? Wash has an idea. What you got?
So I recently listened to the episode where we tried snorting the sacrium that was left over.
Yeah.
And it was determined that it had expired and had become practically a bag of dirt.
Yeah.
But
She doesn't know that.
But since the Feywild is this magic infused place that is just like magic everywhere, maybe it does something a little like massively super duper extra to this sacrium and makes it go like ultra spicy again.
I love describing my drugs as ultra spicy.
Ultra spicy. Yeah.
Oh no.
How about Fox roll a persuasion check? You haven't technically lied about it. You've just said it weird.
I mean, even if she doesn't accept it, we'll still get spicy drugs out of it.
DC is
Big brain.
22.
You thought the boon
to
was for your
convince her.
situation. It's actually for me later.
What did you say that check
DC
was?
is a 22.
22, because it sounded like you were going to say 12.
No,
You said 12.
I said 22.
Well, 12.
Nice try.
Do you not mean 20?
No,
Or
I don't
21?
mean that. No, unfortunately I don't.
But this is like blackjack, right? Because I got 21.
I will clear the tension pool if you continue arguing with me. No,
I got-
you
well,
do not roll high enough to persuade
okay.
her. That's just sacrium.
Oh, okay. How about I tell you about Operation Turtle?
No, I want the story about the little tiny guy.
Little tiny guy?
That's my price. I'll
yeah.
return
What
big guy's
story do you
name
want to hear?
for a story about the tiny guy.
Alan is still like kind of standing in the corner and
Alan,
considering.
man, you don't have to do this.
I mean, I guess it.
I
We
can
don't
pick a
remember
new
your.
name.
We don't remember your name. Do you remember your name being super important? It's just it is tough.
Nope.
Oh my god!
It may have not been a good name.
Wow.
and I mean it's just I'm
a
not
great
not to belittle your old name or the price of your name. It's just
No, it's
Wow.
okay, Alan.
Ox, you know what I'm saying. This is a very important memory.
Okay.
We can come up with a new name. Big guy isn't bad.
I think we could come up with something more complicated, more interesting. But all that to say, and then Alan will look back at Andromeda. I believe the more pressing matter now is returning to help Jeb and Laerdith. At least we would like to do that.
So no deal?
No.
Okay. Well, I can return you. You did let me go. You released me from my imprisonment. So we can at least figure that out.
Yeah.
Do you
We
want...
said we weren't going to talk about that. So you broke your own promise.
No, I said you weren't going to tell anyone about it.
Which is why Big Guy lost his name.
I think that's what she said. I'm pausing for a second to see if she's just lost her own name to herself, but I don't think she has. I really think she said you guys aren't allowed to tell anyone about that. You can't say anything about it.
100%. I'm just shooting, stabbing to the dark. So
You gave me pause there for a second.
yes,
okay,
no,
so
actually, there was
should I put you
I
back
remembered
right
it.
where you were?
Well, it might be flooded, and there was an aboleth where we were.
Probably
True.
not the best because we know it'd be at the bottom of the sea.
True.
Do we know if where Laerdith is safe?
I have
Well,
no idea where Larry
I
is.
say we know.
You told me she was
I've
in the sea, which is why I thought you might want to go back to the sea.
I believe I've shared that information already with the guys at this point. That like we all
Do you
know
want to
that
be
Jeb
put
went up and
above
stuff.
the sea in the compound?
I don't know if I can go above the sea from here. We could
Just the very
try
top
it.
of it, just right on top of the doors.
They put doors over the sea? Who does that?
People that are bad.
Seas are meant to be open to the sky.
We agree.
All right. We're going to go, we're going to find a way to get above the sea here. Now, this is technically not like, so remember I told you how like the closer to the spot and the sun and the alignment and how, you know, you jump from one to the next. So if we're going not back where we were, it's not going to be perfectly aligned. So there is a possibility, a percentage chance you could say that something absolutely random and magical might happen during a plane shift event like this when we're not going somewhere that I know about that's part of my home. But I can do it. It just, you know, who knows, right? Fun stories. So, you know, if you're willing to take that risk with me, then I could definitely put you above the ocean.
One of the rooms? Or do you think the whole place is flooded?
No, we could go to one of the rooms. I have no idea if they're flooded or not. I don't have that answer.
I wouldn't necessarily risk that.
Yeah.
I would say perhaps above the sea is
Risk
where
the
we want to be.
magical effect.
Realizing the implications of what's being said, she looks down and goes, "They broke my pastry room."
That is quite possible, yes.
And they were good pastries.
And
I'm gonna
my
nudge
Zen
Alan.
garden?
I'm gonna nudge Alan. Yeah, no, they destroyed all of it purposely too.
Yeah, they really disrespected everything you did down there.
They hated it actually.
And she begins stomping off the edge of the cloud. As she stomps, the cloud itself, little puffs waft up to create stairs for you to follow her. As you are moving, the sun is changing its orientation in the sky. And so the further along the staircase, which begins spiraling upwards towards the waterline, the more of the staircase you cross, the further the sun gets from noon. By the time you've made it to the water, so you can basically reach up and put a hand in the water itself, the sun is at about 7, maybe even 8 o'clock, relative, you know, like straight down from you and then off to the side. She says, "All right, we're almost above the sea. Get ready and hold your breath." And she keeps walking up the stairs and into the ocean, like walks upright through the ocean about 20 feet. Everybody, are you all following her up?
Yeah, Alan's just going to kind of shrug and go.
All right. You follow her up, and she does successfully shift you to the material plane. When she does this, there is a chance that something random could happen to you. And so my buddy Jake's going to roll a D100.
Your good buddy.
And my good buddy Trevor is going to roll a D100. And my good buddy Matt is going to roll a D100.
Oh
no, I just threw one of my D10 underneath my bed. I'll be back in just a second.
I got a
We'll be back
31.
after this short intermission. You got a what?
31.
Okay.
I got a 59.
Okay. A 59. Great.
Minutes become years.
Years become years.
Okay, I'm back.
Okay. Tell me what you rolled.
50.
50. Okay.
350.
So you plane shift back, and I'll describe the scene in the compound because you are indeed above, you're standing on the steel doors that are over the ocean. So for those of you who were not here in that past session, I know we have some new faces with us. They are at an ocean called the Umbral Sea. The Umbral Sea has been surrounded by like a bad guy compound, basically. The private security goons, which is the name of the organization, have set up a little base here in a little circle wall, and it butts up against a cliff. And we'll come back to all of that. First, we need to talk about what happens to all of you. First, Zothkug, you rolled the 30-something, right? The 31. Yeah. Zothkug blinks out of existence. Zoth, you are surrounded by stars and space. You are in the astral sea.
The astral sea?
The astral sea. We'll come back to you. You return in 1 minute with no memory of what happened to you while you were there.
What?
Fox.
Yes.
Everything you touch for the next minute that is flammable bursts into flame.
Does that
Alan.
include anything I'm wearing?
No, I'm
Okay.
ruling that it does not include what you're wearing. Alan, you cannot speak for the next 10 minutes, and when you try, pink bubbles come out of your mouth. Savage,
That's
roll a
a familiar
percentile. I
one.
forgot you were in this group. We need to see what happens to you two.
Oh gosh. I got a 50.
You got a 50. You can't speak for the next 10 minutes. Whenever you try, pink bubbles float out of your mouth. Okay.
The bubble boy?
That
Bubble
has all
boys.
happened. At the same time as that happening, next to all of you, the form of an ancient moonstone dragon, colossal and terrible, covered in like green sort of fur and pale translucent scales, all kind of meshed together in a sort of feather pattern, flares out her wings, jumps in the air, and lands her considerable draconic bulk on the door, which crunches inwards. She grabs, flaps her wings twice, and launches into the air with it, giving you just enough time to hop onto the other one. So she's ripped one door off of the sea and is just flying it up into the air. You have no idea where she's going with it or what she's doing. At this point, I would like everybody to roll initiative.
Oh, you want me to do that?
It's time for some
Oh,
initiative.
action. Oh gosh.
This includes you, Wash, by the way.
So do you want just anybody, or are you gonna do it? You want in like in a certain order?
Well, once everyone has rolled, I'll call for numbers. I'm pulling up my little initiative tracker so I can write them down. In fact, let me just get a whiteboard. There's a bunch of you.
So
There's a bunch of you.
the one-legged man rolled a nat 20 plus 3.
All right, well, we'll start with you then. All right, Fox is at the top. All right, any other nat 20s or 20 plus numbers? No, okay, 15 to 19s. Okay, 10 to 14s.
That's me.
I got 12.
Alan?
13.
Okay.
No, sorry, 12 also. My bad.
Okay.
I forgot I have a minus
We'll
one.
go Savage and then Alan.
We're just gonna be blowing bubbles together, man.
5 to 9s.
5.
7.
Okay. Jeb and Zoth. And Laredith is going to take her turn next to Jeb because that makes the most sense narratively. And the Aboleths rolled a nat 20 and a 3. So one of them goes right after Fox. And the other one goes at the end of the line here. You've already killed Mavira. So she doesn't get a roll.
Yay. You said I'm in the astral sea for how long?
You're in the astral sea for a minute.
Oh,
Then you
okay.
return. So for 10 rounds, you're just wandering. There's no time there. So you don't age. You don't need to eat or drink or sleep. Like you're just wandering about the stars.
Best trip ever.
We're going to, if we make it through 5 rounds of combat, we're going to roll a percentile to see if any of the random beasts that live in the astral sea come upon you and you have to deal
fun.
with that.
I hope
But
not.
we'll get there if we make it to round 5.
Do you want me to keep track of the rounds, or are you going to?
You should keep track of the rounds and remind
Okay.
me when we get there.
Okay, I can do that.
Kind of cruel. Remind me to inflict doom upon you.
No, it's fine. It's funny.
Chat, Ari granted a boon a while back, but we were in the middle of a narrative sequence, so we will also incorporate that boon here, and we will skip the Aboleth's first turn, basically saying that you got the jump on them in your teleportation. So Fox is at the top of the initiative. Jeb, they have entered time with you at the same moment as your long rest or your short rest expires. Do you need to do anything else before then, or are you just basically using your arcane recovery and then ready to roll?
So part of the plan, and I'm just saying this to Laredith, I explained the plan to her. I'm going to do some things, and then I'm going to wait for the the rope trick spell. I'm going to wait for it to end. And then so what we're gonna do, I take 10 minutes towards the end, and I ritual cast Phantom Steed, and Zonde, my big rote, he pops up, and I'm like, all right, get on. I load all my stuff on, like she's still got my pack on her, and I'm like, get on, hang on tight. I point up through the skylight, and I'm like, that little crevice right there, we're running as fast as we can. I'm going to be actually, you know what? I'm going to put you up front, and I'm just going to tell him to go, and you just keep him going, and I'm going to run defense. And you may notice he's not big enough to fit out through that hole. So once this time runs out and this dimension pops, he's going to giddy up and go. That's my super cool plan.
Okay.
Honestly, it took a lot more planning. This is the best solution. You know, it seems simple, but it took a lot. Like, this is actually very complex.
Okay. Well, let's see how it goes. Also, I have this weird, like, cramp on my back. It's like something's wrong with my wings. Like, I can't get them to stretch out right. Can you see if there's, like, is there something, like, stuck to them?
You don't have your wings anymore. They're...
I what? She spins around trying to look at them, but obviously spins in a full 360 and doesn't see them. What do you mean I don't have my wings anymore?
When you were pulled from the device that was like, it was piercing through your wings and sapping your life force out, and when you were freed from it, your wings were pulled away with it. I'm sorry. I tried to save all of you, but
you settled for like most of me.
It was either that or die. I figured you'd rather be alive. I'm really sorry. I wish I could have done better.
Well, I guess saltwater will clean it. And she like climbs onto, she's like hiding behind her bravado and sarcasm. She like climbs onto the deep rote and like grabs the reins. She's going to roll a strength check to see how like well she's able to hold on. And she's going to roll at a disadvantage because even though she's been healed a little bit, she's still been beat to crap and then imprisoned for 3 years.
I'm gonna do something to help her with that. I actually planned for this. Okay. I've already lashed the rope around her from when I pulled her in. And the rote, when it's summoned, it comes with a full saddle, bit and bridle and everything. So it's got like a horn on the saddle. I reach around and I take that rope and I like tie it around the horn of the saddle, which is normally used for like, you know, lassoing people. So it's like, it's pretty stout. I'm like, just hang on to this and it'll keep you tied on.
Awesome. She's going to not roll at disadvantage then. Basically, you're helping her. So that'll be a 13 plus her strength mod that you don't know as soon as I finish putting the hammer down. Okay, hammer's been put down. We can move on. So that's a 13 plus whatever. And we...
Also, you're going to need to hold your breath because the abyss, you're smart. I'm just not going to make an assumption. Their mucus is all over in this water. And if you breathe it in, you could become under a magical effect by it, and it's bad. So hold your breath as much as you can.
Great. This is some plan, Jeb.
Hey, we need to make it 18 seconds. 24 tops. Probably around 18 seconds. The other option was we just like die. So this is the only thing. Hey, we got a couple minutes, and he just kind of like leans over on his elbow. It's like on the back of Zonde. He's like, we got a couple minutes till this thing busts up. Do you have a better idea? You got anything in your pocket that you can like bring to the table? Not sarcastically, of course. I'm just like, I don't know why I didn't think that when I wasn't anticipating you coming to consciousness, but this is actually something that's like good for the situation.
I wasn't really anticipating me coming to consciousness either. I didn't know I was unconscious until very recently.
Well, this is an improvement because now you get to hold your breath. Before you would have been unconscious and I'd have had to like gag you or something to keep the stuff out of your mouth and nose. So
that's true.
This is good.
This is a step up in that regard. I am not sure. I think if I were to try and use magic right now, it would probably knock me back out again.
I was going to say, you're probably pretty close to tapped out. That's the same thing that happened with Garlow. He didn't have much reserves.
You saw Garlow?
Yeah, he was in a really bad state. Same as you. We were able to get him out of the AOF tower. They had it all booby trapped and everything. It was a close call. Seems like we've been doing a lot of those. We didn't get to Shrub, unfortunately, and we lost Shrub.
She takes a second and looks down. She goes, darn, and Shrub tried to, and then your spell ends, and you are booted out of the pocket dimension, and we enter initiative order, beginning with Fox. Fox, I'm going to paint you a word picture before your timer begins. You are up at the top of the Umbral Sea. You are standing on one door that covers half of the sea. Because, well, you're there. You are on it somehow. You might not be standing, but you're there with your one leg. The space where the explosion happened is to your right. The cliff is behind you. The fires of the explosion have been put out, and now there are like rescue crews and bucket brigades and things like that working on, putting out the smaller fires and getting people medical help and things like that. There is also a large group of private security goons fanned out in a circle around the Umbral Sea, looking towards the center of it, basically with weapons trained on you, but you're too far away for them to really have any shot at hitting you out here in the middle of the sea. They're just waiting for you to try and get to the edge. The sea beneath you is maybe 100 feet lower, maybe even 200 feet lower, maybe even 300 feet lower, 300 feet lower than it was, than like putting it even with the water line. It's almost as if something has caused sea level to sink a bit. And you are, so there's about a 300-foot gap between you and the water beneath. And you can't see anything in the water because you don't have dark vision and it's nighttime and there's evil stuff down there. So that is what you see, what you know, and what you hear is mostly people, calling out and coordinating to each other. Either they're in the middle of the lake, or people who are like, get more water over here and stuff like that. You're 90 seconds. I'll give you 90 seconds.
Am I still wearing the goon uniform?
Yes, I think you are.
Would you have changed?
I know.
Yeah,
not that I
It's
know.
your shape-shifting armor. It's your shapeshifter armor that you've been...
Right.
So it's like whatever form.
I'm just going to crawl towards the edge as fast as I can. What's crawl speed? Is that like half movement?
I'll give you a quarter movement speed.
Quarter? Oof.
It would normally be half, but you are missing a leg.
You're working with half legs.
So, okay. And normally you'd be able to move, if I used all of my turn to move, that would normally be like 4 movements, right? Mm-hmm. Because you got your movement, your action,
and then your rogue movement or your rogue dash.
So that would give me 30 movement if I'm moving it down to a quarter.
Yeah, it gives you you crawl towards the edge. Basically, you can make it to the edge and look over. You could make you could start your jump if you wanted. Like if your plan is to jump in, you could do that.
Well, I'm just trying to crawl to the outside edge, not into the water. Okay.
You make it there.
I'm trying to crawl to the edge of the Umbral Sea.
Oh, where all the guards are, or the private security guards are.
Yes.
Okay. You crawl in that direction 30 feet. You're going to be doing this a while.
Yeah, I know.
we skip the Aboleth's turn because you guys got the jump on him with your teleportation and the surprise of the Moonstone Dragon ripping a door off the sea. And that brings us to Savage Tempest's turn. Savage, again, 90 seconds on the clock for you to take a turn here.
And we are standing on top of one of the doors right now?
Yes, the other door is gone.
Okay. So I guess I'm watching Fox just kind of crawl off by himself. Mm-hmm. I'm going to follow Fox because I believe we all have we all have the security goons outfit on, right?
Yeah, I don't think we ever talked about changing it. So
Yes.
Cool. I'm going to go with Fox more for the fact that because it's just sad to see him crawling so far. And also because if in the case something were to go wrong with him, I doubt he can help himself. So I'm gonna I'm gonna remember back, well, I guess they are still paying me. So I'm gonna follow Fox a little bit. Is there any hurry right now for us to get to the side? Like, is this like a rush, or are we just kind of like making our way over?
I mean, no one has attacked you yet, but you Jeb and Laredith are down there somewhere with an aboleth.
Yeah.
So
all right.
that.
So in that case, I'm going to cast. Can I cast a spell? Is Zoth near?
Yeah. No, Zoth is not near you.
Oh, that's right.
No.
Never
Jeb
mind.
is down beneath you, so no, you cannot cast any spells.
Okay, yeah, I'm basically just gonna catch up with Fox and kind of like help him along. Maybe it'll help his next turn out, and make him move quicker.
Okay.
I pick him up by his shoulder and kind of continue walking.
Okay. So you give Fox the help action. Fox will give you 60 feet this round instead of 30 feet.
Let's go.
Okay.
And the two of you are together walking towards. Are you going towards the exploded side of the compound or the non?
I'm going wherever
side?
Fox was going.
Yeah,
I don't
Fox,
even know.
which side are you going towards?
So ideally, I'd be heading towards. If the way you described it is correct, then when we came up, behind me would be the exit/entrance, right?
Behind the way you are right now, like if you're looking towards the ocean, behind you is the cliff. So the exit of the compound is like to the side. Like if it's a clock, you're standing in the center of the clock. At noon is the cliff. At 6 o'clock, if you go in that direction, there is water and then there is more compound.
I'm just heading towards a shoreline. Let's say the exploded side.
Okay, you're going to the boom side.
Boom, boom side.
Great. You're headed over to the boom boom side. I'm going to take a quick moment here and just put us in follower only mode. Followers can chat if they had followed for at least one day. Boom. Okay. That's enough of that nonsense in our chat. So,
is it still going? I thought we banned the.
Nope, we're down to 3 ban evasion accounts that Trevor and I have banned so far. So anyway, we return to your regularly scheduled programming of combat. Yeah, Clark flew too close to the sun. Exactly. Rip Clark. A moment of silence for Clark while I figure out whose turn it is. It's Owlin's turn. Owlin is spitting out pink bubbles for probably this whole combat encounter.
I want to say, speaking of Clark, due to myself also trying to do mod things, paint me a word picture. What does Owlin see?
Fox began crawling away from you towards the west end of the compound, and Savage is helping him. You're standing on the steel door that is to the north towards 12 o'clock. Mm-hmm. So the edge of the steel door is the cliff behind you. And then in front of you, there's water. The south door has been ripped off the ocean by the Moonstone Dragon.
Okay.
And to the east of you is the side of the compound that was not exploded, that Fox went, that Fox used to sneak down in.
Yep.
And the whole ocean, or the Umbral Sea, is ringed by private security goons who are watching you, and some of them are training weapons on Andromeda, but she zoomed up into the sky with the door, and you're not really sure where she went or what she's doing at the moment.
Okay. If I look into the water, can I see anything down there?
Is dark. The water's about 300 feet below the blast door that you're standing on.
Oh, okay. So we are here, but are we much help? That's a question. I'm
going to put your 90 seconds on the clock.
Okay. I'm looking at what I can do with magical tinkering. Oh, sweet. Okay. Owlin is going to take out a ball bearing. Oh, he doesn't know he has bubbles. This is going to fail epically. This is terrible. Owlin's going to take out a ball bearing, he's gonna like use his crafting tools to like work at it a little bit, to a point where he thinks he's about to speak a message to it and drop it into the water, and then it's going to continuously emit the message to hopefully, his goal is to tell Jeb, hey, we're up above the doors, like this is where we're at, like, and it's like a 10-second message, very succinct. He takes the ball bearing, he's about to speak to it, and bubbles just come out of his mouth. Pop, 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 pop. And he just like puts his hand on his head and throws the ball bearing onto the ground, just frustrated, and then looks around just like, I just used my whole turn on that. And like, I think Owlin just like puts his hands up in the air and it's just like, well, what am I supposed to do? And I don't know. I think he just like I think he used his like action to do that. I don't know. I don't think he would use his move action. I think he's just going to delay or defend. Like,
yeah, it just takes the defend or the dodge action, I think, in this situation. Great. That brings us to Jeb's turn. Jeb, you and Laredith have been shunted out of the pocket dimension where Rope Trick left you. You are underwater. The darkness is swirling around you. Even with your superior dark vision, you have 30 feet of sight in this water. And somewhere out there is an aboleth, but you do not know where.
So, Zonde, my good old Rote Phantom Steed buddy, has 100 feet of movement, but he doesn't have a swim speed. So if he uses his entire movement and dash, he could burst 100 feet through this water straight upwards. So he explodes, skyrockets forward. And Jeb, at the last second, is going to... Well, he's going to hold his action. No, he's not even going to hold an action. He wants to make a perception check to see if he can see the aboleth.
Roll perception.
And then he's got reactions. He's got reaction stuff prepared. That's 13 plus some stuff. Oh no, 12 plus some stuff. No, 12 not plus some stuff, just 12.
12. You spot the aboleth rushing towards Laredith.
From what direction?
From your right. You're underwater. You don't really have an idea of the cardinal directions.
Well, okay.
From the side,
but
not above or below.
Sure. Yeah, but they explode 100 feet upwards.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the aboleth is on an intercept course here.
Yep.
Okay. That brings us to Laredith's turn. She does not spot the aboleth. She's going to hold on for dear life, really, as this thing moves. And she does, between the lash and the grab, she's holding on as it moves up, and she's just going to let that happen for the round. She's focusing really on holding her breath and holding on to the reins of this deep rotate. At the same time as that's happening, we get to Big Guy's turn.
And just for a point of clarity, I am behind her, like she's in front.
Okay. Great. Big Guy, your turn, 90 seconds.
What do I see?
You see everything Fox saw. You're standing right. Oh no, you're in the astral sea.
Yeah.
You see nothing. You are looking around, stars, clouds, mists. You're standing on like you're standing on solid ground, but there's no ground beneath you. It's literally like you're out in space, except you can breathe.
Am I like float? Do I feel like I'm floating, or is it like solid?
No, solid ground.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll just kind of look around. I'm like, did I take anything?
I probably should have just skipped your turn because nothing happens in the astral sea. Sorry about that.
I'm just gonna probably just like sit down and just take it all in.
Okay, and just enjoying the view.
See if he can remember his name.
Yeah. Really, is my name out here? And that brings us to the aboleth's turn. The aboleth is going to roll dexterity to correctly intercept you. If I can figure out how to get my dice upside down, the aboleth is going to roll dexterity to intercept you properly. And here we go. Yeah, the aboleth does it. That's a 15 on the die.
I would like to use, as I see the aboleth snaking its way up there, I would like to use a chronal shift.
Make it reroll?
To force it to reroll.
Yeah, you do. That is only an 11. And the aboleth is like on the perfect intercept course, and then it gets reset to exactly where it was at the same speed, but because you like almost like blurred it back to where it was, it's now just behind you. So it's going to miss you on this attempt at an intercept. As it rushes towards you, you hear it's not a voice, it's just primal screaming inside your brain, and so does Laredith. And each of you is going to... What is this? It's a DC 14 wisdom saving throw as the aboleth begins just screaming its primordial rage towards you. This is Laredith's save. It's a 6 on the die for Laredith, not looking good.
18 for Jeb.
Okay, Jeb, you succeed, but Laredith does not. You see her she lets go of the reins and grabs her head in her hands. The rope is the only thing holding her down for the moment, and just kind of like shakes and jitters. You can hear the same screaming in your head, but it's not as loud. Like it's almost a little bit muted. And that is the aboleth's turn. That brings us to the top of initiative order, where Savage and Fox are limping towards the shore. As you're walking towards the shore, you see that some of the private security goons have realized what's going on and are moving out onto the blast door towards you. They're running at full dashes.
Is Andromeda in the initiative?
No, Andromeda took a door and flew off.
Oh, that's it. Okay.
Oh, she stole a door. Gosh.
Gosh.
Oh yeah, go ahead, Fox.
What do you think the chances are they'll believe we're still goons?
That's kind of what I'm hoping for, because we look pretty beat up.
And I'm missing a leg.
You are indeed. Let's go off of that. Let's use this story. I think it would be pretty... If we act shocked enough, I don't think they'll question us too much. I don't think it'll be more of a medical emergency. And we might be able to get ourselves past this to be able to assist everybody else.
Savage, I'm not gonna lie, it's gonna be a hard sell coming out of the middle of the ocean, but I mean, I can't fight like this, man. If it turns to shit, just drop me. All right, I'll just be non-threatening and wait for my opportunity to get the hell out.
Technically can't do that. You paid me.
Fair enough.
All right. Wait, so it's technically Fox's turn, right?
Yeah. I'm gonna, unless you argue otherwise, I'm gonna keep moving as fast as possible towards the enemy.
Chad just pointed out this would be the first time Fox has gone to the infirmary with an actual injury.
Yeah, it's real this time, guys. It's real.
My leg's off.
Injured.
It is now second aboleth's turn, and it's doing some stuff, and I know what that stuff is, but none of you can see it yet.
That's not ominous.
Bring us to Savage's turn. Savage, you're walking with Fox, right?
Yeah, I have his arm thrown over me.
Yeah, so
like
both of you travel the same 60-foot distance towards the non-exploded side of the blast doors, with private security goons rushing in towards you. They're covering a long distance each time. It'll probably only take maybe 2 more rounds for them to make it to you, the people who are rushing in. Other ranks are filling up behind them, so they still have the whole ocean surrounded.
And how dark is it currently?
It's nighttime, so it's pretty dark.
Like, is there any spotlights on us right now?
Somebody broke all the spotlights. There is moonlight, but the moonlight makes it like sort of because you're standing on something metal. There's like reflection glints kind of coming up from there, but it's still like it's only a dim reflection. So there's some light, but not a lot of light.
I was wondering, I might be able to use my what's my one of my abilities? Oh, the dark. Okay, I can like stay a little bit more hidden under dark. I'm hoping Fox maybe has that ability as well. That would make this like so much easier than what I'm about to say.
I can attempt to hide.
You can both roll stealth.
For Mask of the Wild. I think that's what it's called.
Yeah, you're allowed to roll stealth, but you're gonna roll it at. If Fox succeeds, you roll it normally. If Fox fails, you roll it with disadvantage. The DC to hide is 15.
This will be to like show us that we're still gonna like kind of go to the shoreline, but like with the goons coming towards us, we're gonna kind of divert a little bit around them. Yeah. So maybe the point that they run so quick and they're focused so much on the center that they just kind of walk right by us.
Chat has granted a boon, bestie behavior. Because of that, instead of the DC being 15, I'm going to roll at disadvantage for the guards who are like, there's a lot to take in all at once to see what the DC is. However, I'm not going to tell you what I rolled.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, either way, I'm not sure if I rolled high enough then. Is nat 20 plus 9 good enough?
Oh.
It's good enough to give Savage not disadvantage.
Let's go. All right, so now I gotta... Good stuff. Come on, baby. And 15.
Okay. You both think you are hidden as well as you can be hidden. I've rolled their perception, so I know if they'll spot you or not. But we're
gonna keep on keeping on. We're just kind of like diverting off course a tiny bit.
Right. Basically trying to snake around the people who are sprinting. Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, that's your turn, and that brings us to Alan Woodrier, who has just slammed a ball bearing on the ground. I'm going to put your 30 seconds up.
He slammed the ball bearing on the ground, and then suddenly, like as if he normally would have been like, aha, but instead it's he like pulls out his water skin, makes sure it's still filled up with water with no air bubbles in it, tightens it, and then he pulls out his artificer's tools again. This time he creates a magical glowing sign on his water skin that says 4 guys adventures and vibes, or 4GAV this way, and an up arrow. And then holds it out onto the like over the water into what he perceives to be the middle of the water, and then drops it. The hope is that this sinks down, and then Jebediah is able to somehow see it while it sinks down and know, okay, my friends are up there.
Alan does all of that right up until the part where magic actually happens. And then he feels like for some reason he's not connected to the weave. There's no magic for him to pull on the threads. And
not even with Jeb rapidly ascending?
You're not within 100 feet of each other. The water line is 300 feet down from you.
Alan...
Another ball bearing doesn't do anything.
Well, no, he throws his water skin on the ground. It's just like, and then picks up his water skin, puts it in his pouch, and then begins running. Like he'll use his move action to run towards Fox and Savage.
Okay, that will bring us to Jebediah Peppermint. Jeb, obviously, I know you're going to climb another 100 feet with your rotate this round. Are you doing anything else? 30 seconds.
Do I still see the aboleth, like the one aboleth?
The one aboleth is trailing you, but it's losing ground.
And I don't see the other one from my new position.
No, you've not spotted it yet.
Okay. And like, sorry, that last thing you said, did you said it was trailing? Like we're beating it distance wise?
Yeah, you are outpacing it, but it's going to be close enough to attack you still this round. Like, you're in range of magic, not melee.
Okay. Jeb pulls out his blunderbuss. Like he already had the blunderbuss out when he like twisted the barrel across his arm and did the chronal shift. He's going to pull it like with the socket and twist it and lock it into the other position. And he's going to shoot it with a momentary stasis. It needs to make a Constitution saving throw.
What's the DC? I'm going to make the roll public.
15. Not incredibly high. Yes.
With a Constitution.
Oh, unless it has a...
Nope. It's still not going to pass that with its Constitution mod. So
it is incapacitated for this round.
Okay. The aboleth that is pursuing you is frozen in place.
And its speed becomes 0.
Great. You will have outpaced it after this round, so I'm going to effectively remove it from combat unless you guys get stalled for a long time or chat rolls the tension pool.
Let's go.
So maybe it found some like maelstrom to propel itself or whatever if we get a complication, but otherwise it has exited the combat. You are outpacing it and continuing your climb, which brings us to Laredith, who is still reeling from the psychic pain, is just doing all she can to hang on. She's not going to participate. She's going to miss her action. Zothkug, you are still taking in the stars. And that brings us to the top of initiative order, where Fox and Savage are still limping, now kind of like crouched and sort of off to the side and trying to go around the private security goons who are running towards you. You're now close enough to distinguish that there are 4 of them, 4 private security goons, who are making their way uptown, moving fast, dashing past. They're probably 1 round dash action from actually catching up to your spot, at your 2 paces. So next round you'll overlap with each other. And are you doing anything besides continuing to move?
I'm gonna change my appearance just to double check into something I haven't used yet while at this facility.
Okay.
So I will shift to a dark brown hair with half of it shaved, and with hazel eyes, closer to a green, and just completely changing my appearance and be like, I'm gonna look at a Savage in the dark. Probably can't even see half of it and give him a thumbs up.
Just gonna keep looking forward, ignore it, didn't even see it.
Chad has removed a die from the tension pool, bringing it down to 1 currently. And Chad has
otherwise I keep moving.
Granted a boon, a positive tweak to your circumstances. One of those 4 people in their sprint out there is tripping and falls onto the ground, and I'm actually going to roll a dex save for him to avoid falling into the water.
The scene in Monsters Inc. where
he totally passed his dex save. That's a 19 on the die. So he falls over, but does not fall into the water. But now there's only 3 of them who are going to catch up to you next round. That brings us to the other Aboleth's turn. Jeb, the Aboleth dashes straight down from above you. So it was 80 feet straight up, which is why it was still out of sight. Dashes straight down towards you. It's going to try and intercept and wrench Laredith off of the rote. Are you using any reaction to interrupt it before it gets to you?
If it doesn't attack, the 2 hit, I can cast shield and add some armor class to that.
Can you do that to other creatures or just to you? Because it would be attacking Laredith.
Well, so it says to me, but we're in a mounted situation, so that might be a little weird. The spell specifically says to me, though.
Okay, I think it doesn't apply to Laredith then.
Okay.
So the Aboleth's going to attack Laredith. It's dashing straight down. Here's the roll. Of course, you can't see it. There we go. That's only a 4 on the die. Its melee is +6, so that's a 10. Laredith, being an avatar, has a higher AC than 10, even beat up and lashed to a horse. So the Aboleth attempts to wrench Laredith off, but basically it either mistimes it or Laredith does something. There's something that happens, and it almost phases through the space you're in. Like the tentacles don't quite connect as it attempts to reach out and lash you, and it spins past. However, it has made a full U-turn, and you can see that it fully intends in future turns to pursue you vertically. So it is, right now, it is even basically with behind you. It can't take another attack action this round, but it will continue chasing you in the next round. And that is its turn concluded, which brings us to Savage Tempest, who's continuing to sneak with Fox. Savage, are you doing anything else other than continuing to sneak with Fox?
I think I'm just going to keep sneaking. I'm going to keep an eye on the guards at all times. Just make sure no one's looking out for us. Obviously, I can't really conversate with Fox because I've been reminded that I'm literally spewing out bubbles too if I still try to speak.
That's true.
So I'm just going to kind of keep nodding my head forward and moving on. I guess I'm trying to think if there's any little thing I can do. No, because I think we'll be okay. We're kind of like crouched and sneaking around, so I'm just gonna keep on sneaking with Fox.
This is the turn where the 3 private security goons will catch up with you and may or may not overlap your location. The 3 of them are running towards the 2 of you. You slow down extra much and kind of hunker down into what you hope is a little patch of shadow in the dappled moonlight reflecting off the metal surface. It's not perfect. You can see some of the light illuminating your jaw. You're really not sure what's going to happen here. The moment builds. The tension begins mounting. I add a die to the tension pool to reflect such a thing. And you see them approaching. Their boots are getting closer. The click, click, click becomes a clang, 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 echoing on the steel blast doors as these 3 guards approach you. You can now make out the fact they've got handguns that are at their sides and they've got rifles in their hands. Fox, you recognize these as the rifles of Ice Shard that you've encountered before. They are not fun to be hit with. They continue moving towards you. They're now almost even with where you're literally laying down, holding your breath, hoping to just blend into a patch of the shadow. They pull up even with you. One of them looks over towards you, and his eyes glance right over the 2 of you before they continue running towards Owlin, who is a sprinting barbarian that they can see just beyond you, like just further back than you. So Owlin, obviously, you see the 3 of them coming, which is convenient because it's your turn next. You have 30 seconds. They're going to reach you this turn, so you could enter melee combat.
Great. Owlin is going to first start out with Bubbles escaping his face, just trying to make the biggest distraction possible, just trying to get all these private security goons to go to him. So he's like, bop, 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 bop. And then as he gets within melee combat range of them, he rages his ethereal wings.
I demand a role-played Bubble rage cry.
No, that's the thing. His wings come out of his back. He raises his scimitar, and his bubbles goes from and then now he's gonna double attack whatever first private security goon he comes by.
Okay, roll to hit.
First one is a 16.
16. Attacker wins in a tie. You hit.
And second one's a 21, so that one will hit too, I assume. Yes. All right. They are both against the same dude.
Sure. Front dude.
Yep. So that's 6 plus 10 is 16 plus 4 is 20. 20 damage.
Between the 2 weapons? Like between the 2 hits?
Added them together, it's 20.
So they're running towards you. The first one reaches you. Owlin activates his rage and just slices through the first guy. The first hit spins him around, and as he's being spun, Owlin cuts out his legs from underneath him, and he falls backwards dead. Are you doing anything else this turn?
I mean, he just ran, raged, and attacked, so he can't do anything else.
Turn. Great.
Yep.
That will bring us to the remaining 2. There were 3 of them. Now there's 2 remaining private security goons. They both have a turn to attack Owlin. They're going to raise their rifles of Ice Shard and take some shots at you. The first one rolls a nat 20.
Oh, dang.
Which confirms.
First one
rolls a confirmed nat 20 against Owlin. And he deals. Sorry, I'm looking up the damage because I didn't, for some reason, have it in front of me.
Oh, dang.
Yes.
Oh, dang.
Okay, so you take this much piercing damage times 2 for the crit. So that's
half.
8.
So it's normal because of my rage.
Great. So you take 9 points of piercing damage.
Okay.
And then you take this much cold damage times 2 for the crit. 8 times 2 is 16. 16 points of cold damage for the crit.
Okay.
And that's that guy's attack on you. And he's now going to step back. Basically, he's just trying to keep himself out of melee range of you now that he's entered a fight. So he's using the disengage action to keep himself out of melee range. If Alan could say coward, he would, but he would just say The second private security goon is going to roll to hit you. That's a 3 on the die. That is
misses,
not going to do
guess.
it.
Yep.
The second one is looking at his friend who's just been like, or his comrade who's just been like sliced up, and he's like trying to give him medical aid, which obviously won't do anything, but he's got to check. So he's crouched down there checking. He's also, because it was such a low roll, he's put down his rifle, though he still has his handgun, but he, put down his rifle to check the pulse of his buddy.
Okay.
And that's the scenario with them. The third private security goon who remains is the one who fell further back. And so he is not even either with Savage and Fox. He's not past them yet. And he's not reached Alan for combat.
Gotcha.
That will conclude the private security goons' turn and bring us to Jebediah Peppermint, who is underwater on a rote that is climbing for its life.
So we've already climbed 200 feet.
You sure
and
have.
at the end of my turn, Zonde is going to go another 100 feet. Am I seeing the top of the water yet?
Not with
2 rounds.
Not with your 30-foot. Your 30-foot visibility is changing to a 60-foot visibility. But
Okay.
You're not seeing the top of the ocean yet.
Oof. That's in Jeb's mind. He's like, oh, that's some. Okay. Well. Okay. And that other aboleth is behind me still, right?
Yes. So the one aboleth you momentary stasis is way down there behind you.
Yeah.
You've lost him. The other one is immediate distance behind you.
Okay. All right. In his mind, he thinks evasive maneuvers and magic missile at this Joker. Let's
Okay.
put some pain in his brain.
Chat has added the third tension die to the tension pool.
Because of course they would.
Because of course they would. And you have used magic missile, which just hits, so we don't need to roll to hit for that one. How much damage
darts.
did you do?
Oh, that's max damage. So that is 3 4s plus 15 force damage.
15 force damage.
Shoo, shoo, shoo.
15 force damage, and the gaping maw of the aboleth at immediate distance from you opens in a silent shriek of rage as you see it's almost like little dimples like push into its skin a little bit as the different force, because it's magical force damage, so the force like pushes into its skin, and you can see it kind of ripple across its serpentine body. The multiple rows of teeth stare back at you from the maw as it silently rages and roars behind you. The next turn is Larodith's turn. Larodith continues holding on for dear life. She's really not participating in the fight. And then we're back to Zothkug, who, if I recall correctly, Zoth, you're still just chilling, right? We're not at the point where we roll for a random encounter for you.
No,
Nope.
this is turn 3.
Zoth is sitting down. The little mist that swirls around your legs just continues swirling by. And Jeb,
What'd
did you
you
have a
call
question? Oh, you're
did
right.
have
I don't know who that is. Big guy. Big guy is up there doing his thing.
No, I had a little question. Like at the end of my turn, Zonde shoots up another 100 feet, so we're at 300. So I can prepare for my next turn. Like, do I start to see anything on the next, like after that 300?
No.
Okay.
You have more than 2 and less than 7 turns before you hit the surface.
Love to hate that.
And that, okay, so the big guy's turn has ended. Then there's Frozen Aboleth, who's too far back to matter. Brings us back to the top of initiative. It is Fox's turn. Again, Fox, there's one more private security goon who fell and is getting back up. And because they're now like assessing the situation ahead of them, I am going to give them another perception roll to possibly see you with your stealth of 15. So what are you doing with your turn?
If it helps at all, am I on the side in between Savage and the goon?
Sure.
All right, I'm going to change my skin and hair color and clothes color. I'm not going to change to what they are necessarily, but I'm going to change the color to be like a metallic color to match what we're on top of right now.
Okay. Yeah, so you're just trying to make yourself like chameleon.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. You give it your best shot. I'm not gonna give you like an actual change of your roll for that, but that's cool. What you're doing.
That's cool for you.
That's cool for you. Love that for you.
When the DM is like, cool story, bro.
Yeah.
Love that for you. Well, it's just that you can't also change Savage's like look, so it's not really hiding the group of you, but it is a cool idea.
Now they just see me. Great.
Yeah, now they just attack T-Sag. All right, that's your turn, which brings us to the Aboleth, who's immediately behind Jeb and got hit by force damage. It has, using its full move, whatever, it's able to get within 20 feet of you, and so it is going to reach out and attempt to enslave Jebediah. Jeb, I'd like you to make a wisdom save as you hear in the back of your voice, I know where Violet's soul went.
Don't get me, punk. This is it. I'm out of stuff.
I just granted a boon.
Jack granted a boon.
We'll come to the boon in a second. What'd you roll?
I rolled a 4 for a total of 8.
The DC was a 14. The positive spin, the complication that doesn't resolve a conflict but changes the scene that I'm going to offer to the group for your consideration is that as Jeb's mind is affected, he kind of freezes up a little bit as it like the reprogramming takes over, and the Rote rides out from under him, meaning that Larodith and the rod continue rising towards the surface without him, and Jeb is plunged back into the water, falling towards the Aboleth. How does the group feel about this twist on the circumstances?
Quite peculiar indeed.
That's better than taking control of Jeb and then being like, all right, bring her back.
Yeah, I agree.
Is that an acceptable boon?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Jeb, you are enslaved by the Aboleth, and you feel the Rote ride out from underneath you and continue rushing vertically. However, Jeb, you feel completely at peace because you know that soon you will be taken to see Violet, where her soul is, so that you can help lay her to rest. That's the narrative of which you are convinced. That's the peace that, the Aboleth has convinced you is going to happen. So that's what, chat has also redeemed players pick a boon. So that's a second boon. I'm not going to change the thing that has just happened, but you can pick another positive twist on the circumstances if you want, players.
Big guy comes back early.
He bonks his head on ice.
I intentionally did not. Participate in the acceptance of the previous boon because I didn't want to influence what happens to Jeb. But since there's a second chance, I feel like Jeb has resisted this enough. Like the Aboleths have been relentless in trying to take over his mind. And he's succeeded enough that he knows what it feels like. And when he felt like it started to break, his last contingency plan kicked in automatic because he paced for 15 minutes in circles in there thinking of contingency after contingency after contingency. And as this last one kicks in and he's like, in his mind, he's like, Zonde is going to last for an hour. It's not relying on him. He left all of the instructions and everything with Larodith on what to do. And as he feels his mind let go, he has almost automatically put Big Boy and his blunderbuss and the amethyst lodestone into Larodith's hands. and then lets himself drift off.
DM.
It's a twist on the circumstances that works in the favor of the party and does not resolve the conflict of the situation. So it meets all of my requirements. How do we feel as a group about it?
That's perfect to me.
100%.
I love it.
Okay. So
I love to hate it.
Jeb, now weaponless, packless, just a mole with a coat fluttering lightly above him. You are suspended in the water. It's not really a fall what you're doing. It's just sort of a float, maybe 5 feet of drift downwards as the aboleth, is coming to. Again, it's 20 feet away, so it won't reach you this round. But it has enslaved you and begun whispering sweet nothings into your mind. Well, sweet somethings, really, if we're honest with ourselves. And that concludes the aboleth's turn and brings us to... Where are we here?
Be me, right?
Yeah,
I think it's Savage.
You're right.
All right.
Savage's turn.
So I know that I can't really speak, and I also know that Fox also kind of concealed himself. So this is what what I'm about to do is probably pointless for what Fox did, because we obviously noticed that Alan is under combat now, right?
Yes.
Okay. Where are the goons set up to the point where if I were to turn around and look, are they in front of each other? Is one off to the left and one off to there? But the angle I'm at, could I is there a chance for? Okay. Okay.
No collab.
I was going for a Call of Duty save there. Okay. So I'm going to go for the one that's standing immediately up, because it seems I could probably see from here the guy looking down is the one that's going to be the easier target at the moment. I'm actually going to take a shot to help Alan. And then, I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to take a shot at the guy that's standing up right in front of Alan and take him out. That way Alan has a better chance of 1v1ing the other guy. And let me get my dice. I can reach that, right, with that shot?
Yeah, you can make that shot. He's not that far behind you.
Word. So to hit... Oh. Is I hit for an 8?
An 8 is not enough. So
okay.
you pull out your long gun, you take aim, but you're also trying to be hidden and be aware of Fox and there's one private security goon who hasn't quite passed you yet. You're trying to keep all the details in your head, and you take the shot, and it gives this, this kind of loud pop, and it doesn't connect. You miss. Alan, you see a shot whiz wildly over the shoulder of one of the two goons you're fighting. It is Alan's turn next, so go ahead, Alan, and take your turn.
Real quick, one question. I do have the extra attack thing, but would I have to reload first in order to use the extra attack?
Yeah.
And that would be a whole turn?
A reload is an action, so since you're not moving, you can fire and reload. You just cannot take another shot this turn.
Okay, so I am going to reload before my turn ends.
Okay, that's fine.
Cool. Okay.
And that brings us to Alan's turn. Alan, you've got 30 seconds.
Okay. Alan is going to...
Oh, there goes that.
Alan is going to... seeing that Savage is going after that guy, shooting at him, and that guy obviously probably noticed that he got shot at and is going to be turning that way. He's going to go for the guy that's closer to Alan's going to go for the guy closer to him, which I believe was kneeling over the other guy trying to tend to his wounds.
Yeah, medic buddy.
Yep, Alan's going to attack him.
That guy's basically prone. You have advantage.
Great. He's gonna do his bonus action attack first.
Okay.
One of them is a 19. The other one is an 11. So I assume the 19 hits. Yep.
Nice.
Man, it really sucks to work for these guys.
12 damage.
12 points of damage. All right. And this guy on the ground, you just kill him. He falls on top of his dead comrade.
Okay, Alan is going to use his move action to get to the guy that Savage shot at, and then use his 2 remaining attacks to attack him with the Scimitar of Speed.
All right.
Nice.
Go ahead and roll those.
Did the medic guy even attack it at some point?
No.
Alan
Did we
is
just kill the protagonist from Hacksaw Ridge?
first attack is a 25. Second attack is a 16.
Those both hit.
Let's go.
Nice.
Let's go.
Total damage is 9 plus 10 is 19. No, wait, no, sorry. 4 plus 10 is 14 plus 4 is 18. 18 points of damage.
Okay. 18 points of damage. This one also falls dead. Alan is just cutting him down.
Alan is his eyes are laser locked on the guy on the private security goon that fell over, and he's ready to go next turn.
Alan's eyes are laser locked on that security goon as that goon raises a rifle to an unaware Savage Tempest. Takes aim and
Alan's gonna try to ward him, but bubbles just come out of his mouth.
Alan's
Wait,
trying to
the one
save
that's
him.
behind? The one that's
Yeah.
that fell behind is looking at me? Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
He rolls to hit. That's
Is that a nat 20?
20 on the die. We're gonna roll to
No.
confirm. Does not confirm, just a hit.
So we did establish I was in between T-Sav and the people.
But you're like
T-Sav took a knee to make the shot, though. Right?
Oh,
Isn't
so
that
he's-
how he
he's-
described it?
Okay.
Yeah, I guess.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's hit
T7
T7 now.
is standing / kneeling.
Yeah.
So he's more visible.
Okay.
I'm not going back on it now. T-Sav, you take.
I was about to say, I hope I don't get collided.
Nope. T-Sav, you take 2 points of piercing damage, and then you take 7 points of cold damage.
Okay.
And that's what the shot does to you. That guard who shot at you, seeing Alan coming towards him as well, is going to run like he's backpedaling basically, and bringing up the rifle he's kind of getting ready to engage again in the next round. He has moved to the point where, Alan, it would take a full dash for you to get to him.
Dang, that means his rage is going to expire.
Move.
Okay.
And
My
that
man's just like,
concludes-
whoa, bro.
yeah, that concludes this guy's turn. He's realized he's alone.
Unless he hits Alan first, Alan will either lose his rage or get hit, and then he'll keep his rage and be able to get
Right. And the other thing you notice is he reaches up to his shoulder and grabs a small obelisk of some kind and seems to talk into it. You're not sure what exactly is going on there.
Yo, the guy walkie-talkies.
That concludes his turn and brings us to Larodith, who is riding upwards on the rote, gets another 100 feet, and is being pursued by an aboleth who's fallen behind to 30 feet, but 30 feet is still enough rage for it to try and use one more lair action. It's going to cause the water to surge in a grasping tide and attempt to yank the rote and Larodith riding it down. Jeb, or Wash, on behalf of the rote, I would like you to roll a strength saving throw with a DC of 14.
Okay.
I'm on dice.
I believe.
That is a natural 20.
That's
Plus
a
3 if it matters.
natural 20.
But that is a natural 20. I can
And
confirm it.
As any
Not confirmed.
As any science brain like Larodith would know, in momentum, every force has an equal and opposite reactive force. And so as the water is forced away to pull towards the aboleth, the rote pulls through and into the resulting slingshot upwards, and it gets 2 rounds of movement for this round as it begins rushing towards the surface. Continues rushing towards the surface. I shouldn't say begins. And that brings us to Big Guy. Big Guy's chilling in the astral sea. Round
You big
4.
guy.
The astral sea smells pleasant. It smells a bit like cotton candy. We
Yummy.
we move from the astral sea back to. Go ahead.
I don't know why, but I just love the idea of like, yeah, crazy shit happening, people being mind controlled, galactic scale, crazy stuff going on. And then just, by the way, back to you, it smells like cotton candy. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah, I'm on the highest of galactic scales there could possibly be.
Dude, my man's so high right now.
He is very high. In a literal sense, he could be looking down on you right in this moment.
Yeah, I see all.
And smell all, evidently.
Yeah.
Okay, so that happens. And it brings us back to after Big Guy, we're up at Fox, top of initiative order. Fox 30 seconds on the clocks.
Well, this kind of ruins my plan. I don't know if I really had one, though, to be fair. And
you don't know that you have any proof that you've been seen.
Can I gesture towards him during his turn? No, probably not.
No. You can talk to him, but you can't. Well, no, you can't actually.
I'm gonna. I'm gonna pull out my short bow.
Okay.
And knock an arrow, but then move away from the conflict on my back, having the arrow drawn and ready.
Having the arrow drawn already, trying to move away on your back, you're going to get like 5 feet of movement. Like, struggling along. You're basically like back inching. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So you get like
I'm
5
usually
feet of
using
distance
the one
from
leg.
Savage. Yeah.
I'm using the one leg I have.
Yeah. Okay. So you get a little distance between you and Savage to move away, and you've got your short. Are you actually attacking, or are you holding the attack?
I'm holding the attack.
Okay. What's the trigger like action? What will trigger your attack?
Anybody who appears to have noticed me, looking at me, or giving me any kind of attention that is unwanted.
Got it. Okay.
They can say hi, but the second they start, catcalling me,
the second they ask about your car's extended warranty, where they tell you they're 23 and a half years old.
Exactly.
Okay. So Fox gets an arrow ready. Alan, you notice this, but it doesn't seem to you like the private security goon has noticed. That security goon's looking at you and Savage, like his eyes are bouncing back and forth between the two of you.
Okay.
And it also makes it Savage's turn.
All right. And there's only one security goon left, correct?
Just one.
Just one. All right. I've reloaded. So, wait, how close is he to me?
Like 30-ish feet, 40 feet, something like that.
Oh, so not enough for like a melee.
You could do a move action and a melee. Yes. It would be your full move action and your melee. You could do that.
I'm gonna go ahead and do that just because Fox is technically still
as far as you know, yeah, it's still hidden.
So, in order just to make it look like it's just Alan and I,
cool.
Because I'm gonna change that up. I'm gonna go ahead and pull out my short swords, and then dash towards him.
Okay.
For
you
that
don't
attack.
need to dash. You just need to move. So that's why you still get an attack action. Go ahead.
So I'll do the first one and then the second one. Where's my freaking thing? So the first is gonna hit for a 20. So 12 plus 8.
Yep, that hits.
And then the second sword's gonna hit for a 28.
Yes, that also hits. 28.
All right, so then and then let's get up here. The first one, damage wise, is going to do 7 damage. And then the next one is going to do 11 damage.
All right. So you mess him up. He's dead.
Okay, good.
You slice him.
So I don't have to use anything else.
No. However, as you kill him,
slice him and
that
dice
weird obelisk on his shoulder, you hear a couple voices go back. Sniper's almost in position.
Oh, crap. Damn it. I guess at this point, I don't think I
You gotta look for the sniper glint and counter snipe.
Yeah, but I say I'm about to, like I can do a bonus attack because like my 2-weapon fighting already lets me attack twice with the 2 weapons.
Josh,
Yes.
Can I roll perception really quick?
does
No,
my
your
bow
turn
catch
is
on
over.
fire?
Oh, my turn's over. Oh,
Does
crap.
your what? Yes. Oh my gosh, it does. You touch a bow, which is flammable, and it catches fire.
Oh no!
And so does your arrow if you get to that too. I didn't
So
even
he's no
think about
longer
that.
hidden.
Great
Things are
point.
on fire.
Yeah, he is no
I'm
longer
gonna-
hidden. He's holding some fire.
Oh,
I'm gonna
gosh.
toss that immediately away the second.
Roll dex to toss it away without taking any fire damage.
Okay, I did a good 18 on the die
Yeah.
plus
You toss the fire away, and
Plus,
the,
yeah.
the glow of the fire. Okay, chat just said it's Firefox. You toss the bow away, and the burning fire distracts the private security goon, which is how Savage like f's him up so quick.
Nice.
His
Okay.
eyes follow the fire, and Savage just slice,
IB.
knocks him out.
I didn't think about it.
Yeah, no, that's a great point, though. And that ends Savage's turn and brings us to Alan Woodrear. Actually, it doesn't. Chat has just put the last die in the tension pool. It's time. It's time. It's time.
It's time to do dice. That's how that works, right?
All right, I have cleared the tension pool.
What it means, we'll never know. Owlin is going to see that last guy is dead. He's going to look to the edge of the C door. Are there any more 4 guys, or any more? Not 4 guys. We're 4 guys. Are there any more security goons? What's the exit strategy looking like?
It looks like there's a now tighter, more like a phalanx than a watchful perimeter. And you see a lot of, maybe 6 or 7 of them are taking a knee and looking towards you with guns, like guns kind of trained in your direction on both sides, like to your left and right, basically.
Okay.
You are pretty confident that you are at a very difficult range as long as you stay in the middle of the blast door. Like it's still a long
Okay.
shot, but they do be
This
looking.
is okay. Out of this is a Jacob question to Josh.
Uh-huh.
How do we call in that dragon favor that we were given a long time ago? Remember that?
I remember that a dragon said he'd owe you a favor. I guess you would have to ask him for it. Like you'd have to go to him and be like, "Hey, I'm calling in that favor."
He
Or
didn't
send him a
give
message
he,
of some
he
kind.
didn't he didn't give like a little like object of power that we could throw up in the air or crush or press a
Nope.
button on.
Sure didn't.
That's inconvenient. This would be a good time to use it, I feel like. Okay.
Wait, who ended up taking this? Did I take the stick?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Fox has the stick.
Okay. Alan is going to catch up to Savage and Fox, and literally just his rage ends. By the way, he's going to momentarily forget that he has bubbles for words. He's going to catch up to Savage and Fox and just like put a hand on each of their shoulder and go, "Bop, bop, 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 bop," and then just go like, "Ah, crap!" Like, just like and
Fox
then
hopeful that
his
someone
turn.
wouldn't speak in bubbles because Savage has been doing it this whole time.
I'm gonna say I'm gonna like nod back at him and just be like, "Oh yeah," completely understandable.
And that's Alan's turn, I guess.
Yep.
He's still formulating a plan.
Alan's turn ends. Laredith, racing towards the surface, reaches the point where she can see the surface of the water, leaving behind the Aboleth, now out of range of its like actual abilities, although maybe a lair action could still hit her, but it's out of lair actions for the moment. Racing towards the water when Jeb, you hear a voice in the back of your mind, and it very convincingly tells you that it would be a lot easier for you to get to where Violet was resting if you weren't trying to concentrate on like all this magic-y stuff. You should just dispel that steed.
Let me check.
I don't know if it can be or not, but it's asking you to. Like the Aboleths also
Yeah.
don't know that.
I'm checking the spell.
I don't think it's concentration based specifically.
The spell ends if you use an action to dismiss it, or if the steed takes any damage.
Got it. So you can dismiss it.
I can dismiss it.
And so it winks out of existence, and a little ways beneath the surface, Laredith begins almost cartwheeling forwards. Like she's got a lot of momentum. The steed was still rising at an incredible rate through the water. And I'm going to roll her a wisdom save to see if she's able to orient herself vertically to make the most of it. She is not, so she's not going to get a whole nother 50 feet of movement out of it, but she'll get like 30 feet more of drifting upwards.
Is there any indicator?
Chad has just granted a boon, so we're going to maybe rearrange so that she gets the full 50 feet of movement as she like swoops upwards. What do you guys think?
Is there any indicator to us on the surface that this is happening? Do we see this? Can we hear anything?
That's a great boon. Maybe as the magic winks out of existence, there's like, that's a bunch of water that was being displaced that isn't anymore by the beast. So maybe there's a big bubble that like whoosh, bubbles up to the top of the water and grabs your attention. And looking down through the water in the very like shimmery amount of moonlight, you can see something that is not tentacled moving up towards you. Some kind of humanoid form is in the water, kind of drifting up towards you.
Okay. Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Can I be the kid asking about the homework when the teacher almost forgot?
You can.
Is a Benz a thing in the D&D in this world?
The Benz is a thing in the D&D world, but I was choosing to overlook it until you asked about it. I had literally considered it and written it off. It will be the next complication if we roll one.
I don't know what that is.
It's a scuba diving
depressurization
problem. Yeah.
It's a what? Sorry?
It's a scuba injury. It's not good.
Oh,
it has to do with water pressure.
air pressure. Got it.
Yeah.
I can explain it to you later, like more in detail when it's.
We'll tell you when you're older.
No, it's okay. I just didn't know it was called that. I know what you're talking about.
Okay. So that concludes Laredith's turn and brings us to Big Guy's turn. Big Guy, we're going to roll
5
to see if anything in the astral sea comes upon you. The odds in the wide expanse of the astral sea are 27. If we roll below a 27, then a wild beast comes across you.
Okay.
It's a 20-something.
Oh.
28.
Oh my god.
It's a 28. What are the freaking odds? I guess they're 1 in 100.
1 in 100.
Yeah.
That's stupid. But there we are. So you're there kind of taking it all in. And then you see in the distance a shape just sort of moving, floating, drifting towards you. It's hard to tell what walking is versus what strolling is versus whatever. And it's as it's getting closer, you realize it's really, really tall. It will reach you in the next round, and it seems to have a travel speed somewhere in the neighborhood of like 60 feet per round relative to your own travel speed. It's really tall. Like, we call you Big Guy, but like, this is a really big guy. And you sort of get the sense that maybe some clouds are swirling around it as it's walking your direction. We cut from there back to the material plane where we have reached the other Aboleth's turn. He's deeper in the lake. He's going to stay deeper in the lake. We skip him. We come up to Fox. Fox, it's your turn again. Your bow just caught fire. There you are laying on the ground. With no bow.
I'm just kind of like, well, I'm here now. And I look up at the two people making bubbles for mouth noises, and I'm just, I don't even know what I can do, so I'll just lay on the ground and stay metallic.
As you look up at the two people who are making bubbles for mouth noises, beyond them in the sky, you can see maybe a little star twinkle, maybe some, and it just for a moment it reminds you of Big Guy. You're not even sure why, but you just see a little glint in the sky and it makes you think of Big Guy. And then that glint is obscured by something large and winged as it flies back into view over top of you. And we cut from Fox to the aboleth closer to the surface that is pursuing the Avatar Laredith. It races towards her, but even with a full dash action, cannot fully close the distance this round. It is right next to her, though. Owlin looking over the side, and anyone else who looks over the side of the metal thing, you can now see an aboleth racing upwards through the water towards the Avatar, who is now like rushing upwards as fast as she can swim. And that brings us to Savage Tempest's turn.
Well, so we can all see clearly, like I can look over the thing and see like.
Yeah, you could see that if you looked over the edge.
Okay. And all right, so first things first, because I know that's crap. I'm gonna do I guess a perception just to see, like, because I want to, I heard the snipers. So I want to check to see if there's anything trained on us right now.
They seem to all be trained on you. They're just kind of holding fire and waiting for you to be in better range.
Knowing that I'm like already a target, I'm going to actually see. So is the surface of the water? How far is that from where I'm at?
300 feet down.
Good Lord. So when they get to the surface, is there anything they can even do to get out? Like, is there any like a wall or hill or anything? Are they just kind of like
you're
in
out
like
in the middle of the ocean? So if they come straight up to where you are, then like there's just 300 feet between you and there.
Good Lord.
You might be able to get them with some rope or something. Much. I don't know.
Do we have three? I mean, I have a rope. I just don't know if I have 300 feet of it.
I think you get 50 feet in like the standard adventure pack.
If you're starting to like look at your rope that's in your pack, Alan's gonna like nod affirmatively, and bubbles are gonna come out of his mouth, and then like gesture that he has rope also. Like, okay, yeah.
So I'm gonna do two things. So as I'm going to hand my rope over to Owlin, because it seems that him and I are coming to an agreement on what to do as we're spewing bubbles. But also during this turn, I'm going to take a shot at the aboleth.
Okay.
Even though it's down in the water, I'm hoping because I'm shooting straight down that it doesn't really like.
Yeah, gravity like bullet drop and stuff is not as much of a thing.
It'll kind of just like the gravity will kind of make it drop straight down to the point where it will keep its damage.
Sure. Here's what I'll offer you. So, I won't change the aboleth's AC. I'll let you roll the shot normally, but if you roll a 1, like if you crit fail this, you're gonna hit the Avatar. So if you're comfortable with that risk, because the Avatar is above the aboleth, so if you're comfortable with that risk, go ahead and roll. It's only a 1 in 20 chance. But if you roll a 1, you're gonna hit the Avatar. Rolling. All right, he's doing it.
Let's go. All right.
Savage is a marksman. He don't got
15.
Fear.
I got a 15.
You got a 15. Chad has added a die to the tension pool. You line up the shot. Time seems to slow to 3 heartbeats. On the first heartbeat, you close your left eye, looking down the sights. On the second heartbeat, you hold your breath. The third heartbeat goes, and in the space between heartbeats, you fire. Your missile lances down into the water and by inches misses the aboleth. Slides over its shoulder.
The warning shot off the bow.
That's bad. And then I'm going to end my turn by reloading.
Okay. You're going to reload as you take a shot into the water.
Menacingly.
Okay. Because I can't attack again unless it's my swords.
A few shots from the edge of the lake go wildly overhead of the group as people realize like you're shooting into the lake at something, so that they probably should stop you, but they're not actually rushing out to meet you.
Okay.
It is Alan's turn.
Alan is going to take Savage's rope, tie it to his rope. How many feet of rope did you have, Savage?
I had only 50, I guess.
I have also 50, so now it's 100. Alan is going to tie the rope together. He's going to take out his artificer's tools. He's going to like frantically like look like he's just like scraping something across the entire, like as much of the rope as he can. The rope is going to start to glow. He sees, from what it sounds like before, it seemed like the Moonstone Dragon's coming back. Is that what we saw? Alan is going to like start swinging the glowing rope around to try to get attention. And then drop it down, like kind of like throw it, like hold on to one end, but throw one end to kind of like point. Hey, you need to go down there, big dragon here to help us. Like
what would
signaling to
Alan
the
do if
dragon.
he started that and realized the rope wasn't glowing?
Why is that? Oh shoot.
Because he's not in range of the Rod of Seven Parts.
How many times?
Is a bow on fire nearby?
Everything.
There is a bow on fire nearby.
Everything. Okay, Alan's gonna tire the fire. No, that's gonna light the rope on fire.
Just have Fox touch it.
I don't want to. Oh, yeah. Okay, that'll be a signal. Alan's gonna bring
Just whips
the end of
Fox
the rope.
100 feet away.
Yeah, just whips Fox.
He picks up the rope. He like touches it to Fox's like forehead. He doesn't care. He just touches it, swings it around
Like a match.
Yeah, exactly. Swings it around to get
Strike
attention.
on anything.
And then does the same thing. Throws it like over the edge to signal, hey, go, like they're down there.
I have this entire scene described the scene as very dark and dimly lit. So if a burning 100-foot rope, I'm not going to have any role for Andromeda the Silver Star to see that.
Okay,
she
cool.
sees that and understands that you want her to go to the water, although she doesn't fully understand why. She, gets the communication. And above you, we'll just enter her into the narrative now because it's cool. So this is her new initiative role. But Andromeda the Silver Star folds her wings and dives like a falcon, except that she's a gargantuan dragon. 300 feet from head to tail of beast and magic and fey wildness rush towards the water. And she's able to cross the whole space in the dive this turn, but the actual meeting between her, the Avatar, and the Aboleth is going to be the next round. 300 feet of dive is a really fast move, even for a dragon. So that's her turn, and she's in the initiative order now. Larodith, for her part, seeing a dragon rushing down towards her and the firelight above her, Chat has granted a boon. We'll come back to it in just a second. Larodith, seeing the dragon rushing towards her and knowing the Aboleth is behind her, is going to rush towards the surface as fast as she can. She makes it just barely to the surface, so her head bursts through. She gasps for breath, but she can't make it any higher. The dragon is right there. She's trying to reach out towards it, but she doesn't have the strength to even do anything besides treading water and floating in place. She's floating in place as we move to Big Guy's turn. Big Guy.
She's floating in place with all of Jeb's belongings strapped to her.
No kidding. Big Guy, it is your turn.
I just see the giant tall thing moving towards me.
Uh-huh.
I honestly probably think he's just tripping and is just mesmerized. So he's just sitting still, wide-eyed, and staring at this thing.
Okay. It walks towards you, and the closer it gets, the more detail it comes into. It is huge, and it is muscular with light skin and hair of blue.
So it's Alan.
Sort of, I guess. It's got blue hair.
Alan plus
eyes.
Big Guy.
It wears a proportionate toga, and it is staring down at you from fully 20 feet up in the air. And it looks down at you with little wisps of cloud swirling around it. And I'm looking for its alignment to see what they spawn as. Okay. And it looks down and it says, Ranyo. Do you speak giant?
No.
Okay,
most
so that's all
certainly
it
not.
says.
What languages do I speak?
Sorry, can you speak common? If you're going to come to this plane of existence. All right.
I'm just gonna continue to look up at it. I don't know what you said. Do you speak any other languages?
As chat's boon, I'm going to make this a giant willing to parlay, and you can roll. What do you roll to be friendly? Roll charisma with advantage, because charisma is like your shtick. And
It's not my shtick.
well, I
but
guess wisdom is your shtick, but
yeah.
charisma is your
Wisdom,
dodge.
charisma.
Oh, Wisma.
I got an 18 and a 16 with a 0 modifier, so an 18.
18. Okay. It looks down at you, and it obviously doesn't understand a word you've said, but it goes, Shandoman. And then it crouches down so that it's only 10 feet above you instead of 20 feet above you. And and a huge hand reaches towards you like it's going to grab you, but instead it stops just shy of you, and it goes, Shando.
I hold out my hand.
it reaches. It was indicating that you're small with its hand, with its two fingers pinched near together. It reaches down and pinches your hand that you're holding out to shake with its finger and thumb, and the grip is like iron. It doesn't break bones, but it how it pops your hand when someone grabs it just there. It pops your hand a little bit, and we cut from there back to the lake and all the things going on. So it's Fox's turn.
I'm going to be like, Alan, if it helps, I'm going to roll over and not touch my backpack and just point at it. Rope. There's rope in there.
Alan's gonna look back at him and
I'm not even looking. I'm like, I don't know, man. Tell me when I can do something. I'm just gonna sit here.
It's the Aboleth's turn.
Oh no.
The Aboleth closes the distance to Laredith and attempts to ensnare her in a grapple.
bad roll,
I'm
bad
aligning the
roll,
dice cam.
bad roll, bad roll.
That one, no way.
You're too slow.
And the Aboleth
Gotta be quicker
rolls.
than that.
It's a 5 on the die. So that's a total of 11 that Laredith needs to beat.
Come on, Laredith.
Got a question.
That's a
for you.
14 on the die for Laredith.
Let's go.
The Aboleth reaches up to ensnare her in a grapple, and the water around it displaces as it puts some of that poison mucus stuff in the water, that green film, and Laredith spins in ways that seem impossible using some kind of strange physics and inertia understanding of the properties of water as she gets herself out of the way and stays just shy of it. And at that moment, Savage gets a turn. So she's inched out of the way. There's a Moonstone Dragon plummeting towards them. And the Aboleth is now also at the surface of the water. Having missed its grapple, it's up and next to her.
Okay. I would have laughed if you had been like, she rolled a 14 and she has a -4 modifier.
So I've already noticed that the snipers can I see how many exactly are trained on us?
Sure.
Or is this kind of like a handful? Is there I want to know how many bullets we're going to be or how many missiles or
10
or
on the
projectiles?
left and 10 on the right. 10 on each end of the blast doors.
Oh, Well, that could be too much.
I didn't
fun.
think we were so popular enough that they could train on us.
Yeah. I can't.
We're entire subjects.
I'm really hoping that Zoth comes back soon because
Who's that?
Sorry, big guy comes back soon. I can really. There's two big things that I could do to help the situation as long as he was here. But for now, I'm still gonna focus because it seems that the snipers aren't really firing upon us yet. They're just holding their ground. I'm gonna go ahead and aim another shot down the Aboleth Now that it seemed to be a little bit, now that the avatar is not directly in front of it, it's kind of off to the side, as you had explained, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take another, a clear shot at the aboleth again. So we're going to go, I'm going to hit for a 15.
15. You take another shot at the aboleth as it races towards Laredith, misses its grapple, and leaps into the air, all spinning tentacles and round, sharp teeth, leaping forwards towards you. You line up the shot, and as the dragon whooshes by and the air thing displaces you a little bit, you shoot just a little bit to the side, and another missile slides past the aboleth and into the water, and you do not get the hit.
Real quick, is the aboleth, you said the aboleth is now midair?
I mean, yes, briefly. It's going to fall back in. It's not like it's flying.
Crap. I was like, no,
it just missed a grapple. This is just narrative flavor, dude.
Yeah, I know. I'm just trying to figure out. Okay, never mind. Okay, I guess I'm going to end it again by reloading and looking. I'm going to look back at Alan because he's clearly watching me throw, and I'm just going to shrug my shoulders with the bubbles coming out. Like, oh, sorry.
Whoa, whoa. Alan holding 100 feet of rope on fire.
He's like, he just shrugs his shoulders, like, yeah.
That makes it Alan's turn.
Yeah, Alan doesn't know. Okay. Alan's going to delay his action. What he's going to do is as soon as the Moonstone Dragon has grabbed Laredith, which is he presumes is what is the attempt of that's the only way that this works.
Right.
He's going to hold an action to essentially, once she's grabbed Laredith, to try to signal once again with the rope, if there's still enough rope left. And if not, he'll use Fox's rope that Fox signaled to him earlier, to signal to the dragon, like, hey, you need to pick us up. Like, get us here. We're right here. We need to go. Like, you need to get us out of here.
How does one signal that through a flaming rope?
Once again, spinning the rope around above his head, like, hey, get over here.
You at least have the attention of the dragon for sure.
Exactly.
You can't tell if she's understood everything.
Yeah, so that's what he's doing.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes. So that's the action you're delaying until the dragon is climbing again, like flying out of the ocean. Great.
Yep.
And that brings us to Andromeda, the Silver Star's turn. The Moonstone Dragon races down towards Laredith and extends a talon and goes for a similar grapple. I'm going to make the DC a 10 here. That's an 8 on the die. Let's see what a Moonstone Dragon's strength mod is. The reason it's a 10 is because she's not opposing. So it's not like a fight. It's just trying to catch her arm, basically. Moonstone Dragon. I lost that stat block when I was looking up cloud giants. Okay, well, with a +6 to strength, I think Andromeda is going to pull it off. And so Andromeda, the Silver Star, grabs Laredith by the arm, and with one huge flap of her wings that sends ripples of water pulsing out in every direction and blasts the aboleth 10 feet back, she races skyward again. She sees Owlin spinning the rope over and over again, signaling.
And then if she sees that, he's going to try to be like, here, like.
And she flies up and lands with a crunch on the blast doors, her wings flaring wide and waiting for you to, in some way, affix yourself to her, I guess.
Hop on.
She's there waiting. Yeah.
I don't know if Alan has any action left, but if he does, he's going to try to hop on.
Okay. Is everybody else going to try and hop on? Because this we can just do as a group.
Don't forget about me.
I guess so at this point.
It's half movement to mount. I researched it.
Yeah, is anyone going to bring Fox? Is that happening?
Yeah. I guess I'm going to go grab Fox.
we can even both try to help Fox. Like, and then also there's a realization of where's Jeb and where. Well, no, Alan's going to assume probably that Jeb is somewhere in the grasp. But where's Zoth?
You mean big guy? Where's big guy? Big bubble.
I don't know what you're saying, man. Listen,
I guess it's like one of those things where like we just got to go. Like we do just got to go.
Yeah, we got.
It's like we just got to get out.
We are leaving.
Yeah. All right. Well, our goal is to get Fox on board. Take another gander real quick to see if Zoth or Jeb is anywhere, and if not, we just got to go.
Wash, roll a d6 for me. On an odd number, the clothes that they're wearing are flammable.
Ooh.
Alan doesn't wear no clothes.
Okay, you're right.
Well,
so it's
no,
only Savage who's in danger of this.
Oh no!
I rolled a 3.
All
I was
right.
about to ask if Laredith was flammable.
Well, you haven't touched Laredith.
Laredith is in the grasp.
Yeah,
He's a
Laredith is
dragon.
in the talons.
Okay.
So Savage, when you go to help Fox, your jacket erupts into flame.
Oh no!
Take
I'm gonna whip it off real quick.
5 points of fire damage as you rip the jacket off and stop helping Fox. Owlin, who is naked, doesn't care, or mostly naked.
Yeah,
And
Alan is just
Ian's
taking
walking
Fox
him over.
Just
so
touch me on my arms or something where you can't. Don't touch my bare skin.
You get Fox to the dragon. I will need strength checks from all of you to hold on to the side of the dragon on your way up.
Nat 20.
All right, you're able to hold on to the dragon, and you can pick one person to ease the task for before you know what they rolled. Okay, so you've got Fox really secure, and yourself.
I rolled a 17.
Okay, Savage is also able to hold on to the dragon, no sweat. The dragon's wings flare out, and on the next turn, assuming she's able, she will launch into the sky. That brings us to Laredith's turn, who's just maintaining position, basically, like she's in the grasp of the dragon. That brings us back to Big Guy.
Big guy.
I'm gonna pull out a ration for myself and a ration for the. I'm gonna pull out a ration for me, look down at the ration I grabbed for them, and grab a second ration and hand them 2 rations.
I love it when the rat that I just found shows up, starts speaking rat to me, and pulls out a crumb and offers me a crumb.
This is like when my toddler walks over and hands me a Cheerio. With the most sincerest eyes.
Yeah. Well, you can tell it means something.
And then I'll just demonstrate and eat mine.
And it's going to take its full turn to slowly rear back its leg, like it's wondering how far it can punt you. But because it's so much bigger than you, it's a full turn action. So you can see it happening and you'll get a chance to react before it actually swings its leg forward. It doesn't seem angry or aggressive or whatever. It's just I wonder how far I can punt this tiny thing. This is a very funny parallel scene with the very first combat of our D&D session where someone almost punted a rat. Okay, we cut from Cloud Giant, who's just reared back with his foot, to Fox, Savage, the clan. You're all holding on. The Aboleth gets one more move before the dragon can take off. The Aboleth's move is going to be...
Give up.
Flop like a fish on land.
He uses splash.
Just decide it isn't worth it today and order out.
These are some options you've said.
He uses tail wag. Gotta bolster that defense.
No, that's hardened.
Oh,
The
whatever.
Aboleth is going to...
What did this do?
The Aboleth is going to use its last lair action.
Oh,
The Aboleth is going to psychically rage in all of your minds. So all of you, including the Moonstone Dragon, will need to roll a DC 14 Wisdom save as the Aboleth tries to basically paralyze you mentally.
Ain't paralyzing this one-legged
16.
man. 15 on the die.
Okay.
What are we adding to this, or is this just a
Wisdom, it's a
straight
wisdom
up?
save.
Okay.
Laredith
God.
succeeds. And for the Moonstone Dragon.
17 on the die, so I have 20.
Okay, you succeed. The Moonstone Dragon got a 9 on the die.
Oh, no.
Please be wise.
Please have a lot of points in that. Yeah.
Please be lots of wise.
Plus 6. 15 total.
Nice.
Wow.
And so, as you all feel the rage of the Aboleth building in the back of your minds, the dragon whoosh, thrusts its wings down and launches itself up towards the sky which brings you out of combat initiative and leaves us with only one thing to resolve as we cut back to the Astral Sea, where Big Guy is looking up at a cloud giant that has just swung its leg back.
Can I try and dodge out of the way?
Sure. You just gonna...
I love the way you said that. Can I try and dodge out of the way?
Yeah. So if you use your whole turn,
like you're asking the giant, like
you use your whole turn for your dodge action, and we're gonna turn that into you getting to roll a dexterity save to get out of the way of the cloud giant's foot.
Okay.
And that's what it'll be. So instead of an attack, we're gonna roll a dex save. And the DC will be whatever the cloud giant's attack will be. So here comes the attack roll. Cloud
turns
giant roll
out
13 plus its melee, which is just strength. Strength's a lot. DC is 21 to avoid being kicked.
I
the
got a 16.
the giant actually won first place at the kickball tournament. Little did you know.
The giant punts you.
Oh dear.
And Fox is going to roll 3d6 to figure out the distance in feet that you are punted.
I don't like this.
That is a 7.
7 feet. You are punted 7 feet up, and with a trajectory of 7 feet up, you're probably punted about 20 or 30 feet over. So you get some pretty good height, and you take 2d10 of fall damage.
Ouch.
You're assuming you're still conscious, which I think you are because you drank tea. So
Yes.
of course you're all right. So you get punted and you just whoosh, wisp off into the distance from it. It leans over. It's still like it's 20 feet tall, so you're really not that far from it. It walks over and has a look like it, and it bends over you and it goes.
Just repeat the same word. Just repeat the same word.
I just hold up 2 arms like this, like, oh, and show him whatever bruises that I have.
Chad has added to the tension pool, and it leans down and it inspects your bruises, and it seems satisfied. It's like,
I'm a good kick.
it is your turn.
I don't even know what to do at this point.
30
No,
seconds
I
on the clock.
deserve to win that kickball tournament.
I'll just take the dodge action and just keep watch in case it tries to do it again and hope I do better.
Okay. The
I'm not
giant
gonna
sees
outrun
you
it.
like looking wary and tense, and it goes and looks like excited to play a game, and then it reaches down with a big meaty hand and tries to grab you as you're moving around. Every time it moves, it displaces little puffs of cloud, and then reaches down and tries to grab you. Make another dexterity save. And
How many turns does it take for him to get back to the normal plane?
He's got 2 more.
3 more.
I am tracking
Or
them.
2 more.
Yeah, 2
Holy
more after
cow.
this.
I got a 15 this time.
The giant got not very much. Is that a 9 or a 6? It's a 10. I'm sorry. That's
Aw.
a 10 on the die. The 1 is wiped out. So 10 plus 6 is 16. 10 plus 8, sorry, 18. It got an 18.
It wins.
Okay. So it reaches down to grab you and successfully like snatches you off of the ground and holds you up. So you're now probably 15 feet up in the air, and it's looking at you and brings you in close and just like and like it's trying to figure out what to do with you. Your turn.
Can I hold on?
Yo, when the toddler shows up and gives me an Oreo, the first thing I think is how far can I punt this little kid?
Can
I will show
I'll show him to bring me just one Oreo.
I'm gonna cast
Probably licked it.
Thaumaturgy.
Okay.
And it's one of the effects. You create instantaneous sounds that originates a point of your choice within range, such as rumble, thunder, a cry, or whatever, blah, blah, blah. So I'm just going to do like some gentle wind around its head to maybe just soothe it a little bit and just like that.
It looks so surprised. It's like And it just like can't make heads or tails of this. It's still holding you. It hasn't put you down, but it's now looking around very confused. It kind of takes a few steps to the side to see if it goes away. And when it doesn't, it like looks confused, takes another couple steps. And that is that's its turn. I mean, that's what it's doing for its turn, is trying to figure out what you're doing. It is your turn again.
I'll just keep kind of doing that for fun. See if his demeanor changes, and hopefully he chooses not to throw me.
He gets angry and tosses you a spike.
Okay, we're gonna roll for his demeanor. Jeb or Wash, are odds or evens a positive demeanor? Like, which ones makes it get mad?
And
I think it's a positive thing to be odd.
Okay, so evens will make him angry.
Yep.
That's a 6.
this is like me in the morning.
He seems to put it together that big guy might be doing this. He looks at you,
It's not a positive thing to be odd.
and he like chucks you away. Like, this is not good. And you fly through the air another 30 feet, another 2d10 of fall damage for you as you
Big sad.
whoosh through the astral sea.
How much damage?
Thud down on the ground. It's 2d10 of force damage.
Do you want me to roll that?
I do.
Oh,
I was gonna say, like, roll for demeanor. It's like, that's how I feel every morning.
oh, good. I didn't roll that high.
And you take this fall damage as you land. Oh, wait. Interesting. Okay.
What?
The scene is weird as Zothkug reappears where you teleported to from the Moonstone Dragon's lair. Does anyone else realize why this is a problem?
Yeah, but what other choice did we have?
No. Because that blast door was ripped off of the ocean. So you appear 300 feet above the astral sea and begin falling.
Oh no!
Did we seriously get teleported on that one first and then move to the other one? Is that what happened?
Yeah.
Dang. Okay.
I can't do that. I can do that again. Okay.
We'll be Aboleth buddies. It's just you and me. Little guy and
I
big
need
guy.
to see something. Check something out. Real quick.
Buddy cops. Best friends forever.
Serving the aboleth.
I'm going to add a die to the tension pool.
Oh,
Brings us to
okay. I
4.
can do this. Hey. Okay.
Hey, what was that?
So, I'm falling 300 feet.
You are.
Okay, I see this happening, and I'm going to. How long does this last? Okay, I'm going to cast Summon Celeste. Oh, no, I'm not that level yet. Dang it, we haven't long rested. I'm going to cast until the Resilient Sphere again. Did you.
Okay.
Have we come up with a ruling? I know you said you were going to decide.
As far as fall damage? For this one, I'll give it to you as no fall damage. I'm still not committing to that as the ruling. I just don't want to slow us down with mechanics right now.
Okay,
So we're doing the same thing we did
casting it
last time for
again.
this one. Yep. So you begin, and chat has removed one of those tension die from the tension pool. So we can just, whoops, that's not it. Give me the die. There we go. Get out of there. Okay. So chat has removed a die from the tension pool. You cast Otto's Resilient Sphere. And those of you on the dragon, you look down as you race away from danger, and you see big guy poof into existence 300 feet over the sea, and then summon a weird sort of energy sphere around himself as he plummets towards the water.
Alan is going to attempt to bubble talk and like gesture.
Same here. Just like,
Yeah.
like
There's
pulling
no
on the
need to
dragon.
yell. I can understand you.
Oh.
Alan's gonna think really hard. Or a big guy is down there. Can we please swoop down and get him?
Oh yeah, I wonder what he's called. And she turns around and swoops down towards big guy.
Hey, what did you know?
Big guy is gonna hit the water first. So there's gonna be a 1 round here where the aboleth might try and do something. Although big guy's inside his resilient sphere.
It's very resilient.
And big guy, I think we've determined that sphere is opaque, right? So you can't see anything. Is that what we've determined? Chat grants
can't
a
remember
bane.
that.
Was that intentional, chat? Chat hits you with a bane?
Sometimes GMV is a wild card.
Chad,
That is true.
He's pretty wild.
Your sphere's opaque
Wild
now.
child.
Okay, that's fine.
Chat grants a boon. Oh,
Do they just
be
cancel
arguing
each other?
Spicy out there. Yeah, they cancel each other out. Whatever the rule.
Or do both things happen and whatever, like, we get
Sure.
a bane and a
Let's
boon?
do both things. That's a way more interesting scene. So you poof down in the water. It's an opaque sphere. You can't see anything. All you know is I've come to rest on the surface of the water, and for the moment, this bubble is preventing me from sinking beneath it. Outside, something that will tweak the circumstances favorably without resolving them is that on the way as you rush down towards it, Owlin is able to position himself in such a way where he could grab Zothkug. If you could get through the sphere, he can't see through. Like you're able
Sphere
to.
is weightless, so he can just pick it up if he wanted.
Sweet.
Okay, I
Alan's
guess
got
we could
big
try
hands.
that. So Alan's going to roll a strength check with disadvantage because it's a big sphere and you only have one hand to grab it with to try and basically scoop it up like a beach ball and like I'm just going to bring this with me. And that's
Disadvantage? Why would you do that?
because
I mean,
it's
to be
hard.
fair, you're trying to one hand a basketball, but it's
Yeah, palm it, Alan.
yeah,
Palm it.
just palm it.
Okay, so the good roll was 19, the bad roll was 9.
Nine's not going to do it. It
You forgot the team.
like bounces off. Chat has increased the tension pool. We're back up to 4. And yeah, so Alan, you try to palm it, but your hand like bounces off. The Windstone Dragon is like, do we really have to save him? Like they're going to start shooting.
Alan's going to think really hard. Yes!
All right. I'm going to roll one attack on behalf of the swarm of private security goons. 1 to 5, no hits. And then every increment of 5 is 1 hit. So a total possible of 3 hits on the dragon. That's a 13. So that's 2 hits on the dragon. Dragon takes. That's 2d10 because those are the 2 bullets, the 2 missiles, if you will. There's the first d10, 1 damage, and the second d10 is get out there is 3 damage. So 4 damage from that, and then
That's not too bad.
4d8 of cold damage.
Weak sauce.
Oh,
That's 13
There's the spicy sauce.
that's just
Not weak sauce.
plus
they add a little
11
chili to
is 24 plus that
Fuego.
initial 4. Okay, so those are some shots
cold
that
heat.
hit
Oh, wait.
Andromeda.
Now, does Andromeda have cold resistance?
No,
Oh, okay.
that would be
I
a
wasn't
white
sure.
dragon.
I would like to use Chronal Shift to make them re-roll that if I had a character.
Nice try. Hey, he's not dead as far as we know. Okay, so you get another shot, Alan, to roll your
Originally
strength
dead.
save.
And is
Or
it
strength check, I should say.
Is it normal?
No, it's the same.
It's still disadvantage?
Wait,
Yeah.
It's worse.
Okay, Alan tries again and misses again.
Alan's going to think really hard. Don't you have a free claw?
Fox, did you say you wanted to try something?
yeah. We have Laerdith right near on this dragon.
Yeah. Meredith is gripped in one of the claws, so she won't fall. But yes.
Do I notice that she has Jebediah's backpack?
We're on top
Probably
of the
not
dragon,
from
aren't we?
within the claw.
Yeah.
You're like riding
Okay.
on the side of the
You
dragon.
know Zoth is there if you plan on using a spell. Or a big guy.
No. I didn't think that far.
I
don't think I
mean,
can.
is the only thing to do to sweep in and try again? Like,
Unless you give me another thing you want to try. That's all you're trying. That was an 11 on the die to hit Laerdith again. Or not Laerdith, the dragon.
When does the sphere expire?
I guess whenever Zoth dispels it.
Concentration up to a minute. So either a minute expires or he gets a signal to dispel it.
Yeah, Zoth, it's getting bumped and buffeted. I don't know what you will make of that.
Can you hear through it? Because Alan tried to whack it and grab it.
You probably can hear through it.
It says nothing, not physical objects, energy, or other spell effects can pass through the barrier in or out.
I don't know if Alan has anything I don't know if he can do anything else.
I think there's probably just this. You just got to pull it off before the dragon gets hurt.
Okay. Well, no.
Did I see the dragon when I started falling?
No, because you summoned the ball right away.
Can Savage shoot back at the other goons while they're on the dragon?
Yeah, you can take a shot from there.
Can Alan take an extra risk? Basically, have standard roll on the strength check, but maybe he has to roll some sort of other check like Constitution. Like maybe it's like, okay, he's going to try to use 2 hands. And standard roll on the strength, but like has to roll a Constitution check to make sure he holds on. Like make sure he stays, like he doesn't go down with Zoth. I don't know.
He could try that, but I think it would be dexterity would be the save.
I was trying to avoid you saying that word, the D word.
Sorry.
But I guess -1 is better than disadvantage. So, he's going to try that. He's going to try to use 2 hands.
Okay. Roll your strength check to grab the ball.
Strength 22.
22, you grab it. Now dex save to get you to keep your balance on the dragon.
More friends for me.
4.
No. You grab the ball, it rises just a little bit out of the water, and then you overbalance and you flip off the side. Owlin plunges down towards the Umbral Sea.
Can he hold the ball? Can he stay afloat with the ball?
Yes, Owlin is floating on the ball. Chat has granted a boon. I'm going to give Savage a reaction to grab Owlin, to snatch him.
Grab my foot.
Nice.
Yeah,
I was about to ask, what happened to that rope that we... It's all burnt up, I'm assuming.
You can pick strength or dex, whichever of those you want to roll. It's a that save.
Okay. 25, baby.
25.
Alan, get back up here, dog.
Easy.
Go.
Savage, hanging on by one hand, reaches down and grabs Owlin by the leg. Owlin, with both hands wrapped around a black sphere of energy, is dangling beneath the dragon as it raises up and begins flying up into the air with some kind of strange carnival chain hanging off its feet. The snipers are going to get one shot at the group of you. And they're going to roll at a disadvantage because you're moving really quickly and they're really far away. And that's what's going to happen. That was a well-timed boon, chat. Oh, I forgot to turn on the camera. There's the first roll.
Shots, but I don't miss my bros.
There's the disadvantage.
Let's go.
Disadvantage makes it a 10 plus 3. So 13. Does a 13 hit any of your AC?
No.
Nope.
I'm in a sphere that can't be damaged.
Fox?
Sorry, 14?
13.
13.
13? I'm thinking real hard right now. 15 is my armor class.
Okay, so they do not hit any of you as the snipers are taking shots, and Andromeda launches off into the distance, and Jebediah falls behind. On that
Big
note,
sad.
tonight's Dungeons and Dragons session comes to a close.